Hello and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing Delta Green tonight, continuing our run of Impossible Landscapes. And what a run it was. Bullets flew last week, which is a rarity in our campaign so far. It's been a much more of an assault on the mind and your ability to determine what is real and what is not than it has been an assault on the body. So that's kind of an interesting twist. We'll dive into the...
Nothing at all is real.
Everything's real. Everything's real. So we'll dive into like the specifics of the summary shortly. But let's talk about some other things we've been doing here on the channel. We're planning to do. So we're continuing Delta Green Impossible Landscapes until we're done. We're in part 3. We're nearing the end of part 3. Maybe 2 or 3 more episodes is what I'm thinking at the pace we're going. And then we have part 4, which... can't wait to do that. And so that's kind of the basic plan for Fridays for the next probably 2 months. Saturday, tomorrow, we're planning on starting up a One Ring second edition adventure. So we're going to give that a test, see how that goes. Melissa and I did a play test of it back in alpha stage, liked it. So want to give it another try, see what it looks like, see if it sticks. This coming Monday, we're doing Alien, so you can come back for that. And we alternate, as always, on Mondays between Alien and Ultraviolet Grasslands. And then Melissa and I are over on Tuesdays on the Sirenscape channel, as we've been playing through Call of Cthulhu, and we're nearing the end of that as well. And finally, if you like Delta Green, if you like everything that could possibly go wrong, going wrong, as just a philosophy of life, then you should...
Flying.
Yeah, and then you should definitely come over to Garblag Games on Thursday nights, and you can watch me run some wonderful people through the Visid scenario. So if you're a fan of Delta Green, we've been running that. It's no words. Like the things that have gone wrong in that scenario are just fantastic. So let's enough of that. Enough with our plugs. Let's dive into our characters. Who is everybody? All that kind of stuff. Oh, one thing I should mention, if you're watching this later on YouTube or if you're catching this up on the VOD, so there's this thing called daylight savings time or whatever that just happened a week ago. And we all on the screen here, we live in Arizona. And so we don't participate in that whole change in the clocks thing. Nope. We don't do it. Which means all of our Friday and Saturday games are, for the rest of you, just kind of pushed an hour. But for us, it's like still the same. So we always start at 6 o'clock our time, but it used to be an 8 p.m. Central Time, but now it's 7 p.m. So sorry. Our Monday games don't change though. So, because our Monday games have a bunch of different people in it and we just kind of flow with the time zones there. But that's a good thing to remember if you're catching this later, wondering if you're late or early or whatever. So let's dive into character introductions. Who are you? How you feeling, considering the events of last time? That kind of stuff. So Chelsea, what do you think? What's going on? What's in your mind right now?
At this present moment, she's dreaming. I'm not 100% sure what she's dreaming about, but it's probably not great considering she doesn't know where she was for a while. And then first thing she does when she gets back, she gets assaulted by Album, and then we're getting hunted by like federal agents, like a SWAT team. There was this creepy large yellow man that came out of this weird window.
Large yellow man. How dare you? He's royalty. Okay.
Big
Bird.
What is he? Big Bird, yeah. Jeez, Big Bird's been in the trending sphere this week apparently. Good old Big Bird. Okay. Chelsea also recently died. In the process of trying to resurrect her, she stepped out of a door that hadn't been there a moment prior, and her body that was shot and killed was a marionette. So who knows what the hell's going on with her? Chelsea in marionette copies of herself.
Either.
For a long time now, that's been the shtick with Chelsea.
Pretty consistent.
One day I will figure out exactly what's going on there and make sense of it. Until then, I just roll it out. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about that maybe in a post show or something like that. What's going on there?
Okay, I will add that to my list of questions.
Make the list of questions. There's so many things we're gonna talk about. Like, I made a little. I peeled a tiny bit of a curtain back for Melissa on a joke that I might bring up later for the rest of you, which I found really interesting. Let's keep it going. We've got Agent freaking Vessel. What's going on, Long? What's
Yeah,
going through
I
his
think I'm
mind?
still Agent Vessel here. So we got in a little gunfight, some cover fire, got grazed a bit, running from the SWAT team that came on upon us. And the same recurring theme of puppets or marionettes has also been affecting Vessel. Ever since me and Chelsea saw our first marionette in the night hotel, we've just been seeing
Yeah.
marionettes all the time.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. The only difference I think has been Chelsea has actually seen her copy of it, but you too have been, especially lately. You've been seeing like on the streets, you've been seeing groups of people on strings. At one point, you saw a whole group of people just get yanked up into the sky as if they were puppets just getting pulled up and disappeared in front of your eyes. Has to be kind of disorienting, I would imagine. That's a great connection, though. By the way, that you and her were the first to discover the puppets. This is one of those things where, like, if we had some kind of little bonus currency in Delta Green, you would get a bonus currency,
Oh,
but we don't. So,
uh,
haha. And then next we have Derek and Album. What's going through Album's paranoid fueled mind?
So he keeps almost drowning in the escape room every time he goes in there. And so after after being chased by the police department and trying to reconnect the phone and then calling someone saying, "Can you please just get us out of here?" Really, all that's going through his mind is like he has no idea how this is going to end, but he just wants he wants to get off the carousel.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I like your. I'm just fixing your camera a little bit. I misframed you slightly. Yeah, I like the idea of like a carousel that kind of fits thematically with what's been popping up here and there throughout the actual campaign. Little things like that. Okay. And then finally, we have our other shooting victim. We've got Fawn. What is going through Fawn's mind at this point?
Well, once again, she can't sleep.
Yeah.
So there's that. Um, Looking at her stats, she's got a 5 willpower, 8 hit points, and 12 sand. So
You're gonna live
is-
forever, right?
Considering her not particularly great health at the moment.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. So let's dive into our summary. So I won't do the big spiel from the beginning, obviously, but you all came together in '95. You did an operation involving Abigail Wright. These night floors that went on forever. You blew up the building. 20 years later, you got called back together, and Abigail Wright was once again involved. Her name was scrawled on the wall of a psychiatric facility whose by escaped mental patients slash Delta Green agents that you were tasked with tracking down. During the course of that, you all became or always were mental patients within the Dorchester facility. There was kind of this moment of disorientation where, like, have we been here this whole time? Who are we, etc. You managed to get out through some fairly supernatural or unnatural means. You got the help of Bale and you got the help of Mr. Wild. And it involved you drinking this red liquid called Patsu that was drained out of the body of this clown that grew to massive heights and nearly killed Vessel. You got out, back into Boston, and ever since then, it just seems like you are seeing stranger and stranger things all throughout the city. You're as Long was talking about, you've been seeing these kind of marionette people walking along the streets or in the Starbucks get yanked up into the sky or just disperse or just turn into normal people. Album has seen a man disappear into a cabinet inside of like the continental breakfast area of a hotel, and more recently he saw a whole family descend into the trunk of a car in the parking lot outside the Boxer Hotel as if they were descending into a cellar. A panic room, sure. And Fawn has periodically been seeing things kind of glow and appear. Most recently, she got a playbill from a play. I think was it called was it Her Grey Song? I can't remember the name of it. From the 1950s. And Chelsea, as we said, not only has she died and then been reborn or replaced or something, she's also hearing voices. And the most recent thing that she heard was a list of names. And when cross-referencing those names and when looking them up on the interwebs, found out that those were names of children from the early parts of the 20th century that either are suspected of having died or been kidnapped by Asa Darabandi, a name that has repeatedly come up throughout your time in these investigations as being a wunderkind architectural genius, also possibly an insane serial murderer. And you even met him briefly while in the Dorchester house. Now, last episode specifically, Chelsea was wandering around the Boxer Hotel. You were looking for a way into the basement because you have this compulsion to find a bottle, and you have some gaps in your memory. All of you eventually came back together in the lobby of the hotel, but in doing so, maybe because of our time off, maybe not, but people saw you, and you have been all over the news, right? Everywhere, right? And so at some point, someone probably called the cops, and they showed up, and it became this race through the hotel as you guys were trying to find a way out. You went up into the room 616, a place that you have surprisingly made something of a kind of a life raft for yourselves. Some of you thought about going through this mirror, this rippling mirror that Vessel has at some point been able to travel through. And others thought about going into the dream window that appeared in the Boxer Hotel whenever somebody fell asleep in the room. You all decided to kind of do the latter a little bit. And in doing so, you tried to reconnect a telephone that you had ripped free. And then once you connected it, you used your satellite phone to call it. And in walked, in the dream window, this like underwater room that you've explored, this regal figure in a green gold robe and a mask and a hood answered the phone. Do you remember what you asked for?
Yeah, I asked for a way into Broadalbin.
You did indeed. And they said, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Phone hung up, and that's where we're going to pick back up. So we're going to treat it as middle of the night, because I think it was late night when the shooting started. So we're going to treat it as pretty, we're going to treat it as AM time, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So you've just hung up the phone with whoever it was in, maybe it was the King in Yellow, maybe it was a figure that looks like the King in Yellow. From all intents and purposes, from all of the materials that you've read, from the play to the Red Book, Le Roi en Jaune, to all of these different things, that was an image that is similar in description to what the King in Yellow appears to be. They just communicated with you, and they said they would help you. They didn't say how, they didn't say when, but they said it is done. Chelsea's still sleeping. Vessel, Album, Fawn, you're in the room. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll call it. What do you want to do? We just did the recap, so you haven't actually missed anything. Just finished up the recap. We are now starting right here. So Chelsea's still sleeping. You've just hung up the phone. There is now help apparently coming. And the last time you requested help was to get Chelsea out of jail, and it came unexpectedly. Yeah. What do you want to do?
Real quick, this might have been like 2 or 3 episodes back. I don't remember if I fully completed the setting up the tryst, but like we had agreed to for bail. So if not, could I complete the just like faking a conversation and a plan to meet between those 2 individuals? Okay.
And where were you going to plant that conversation?
I was just going to be like electronic doctoring using my computer science. So having it in their like phone text history, or perhaps like in their email server, like their personal email server, something like that.
Okay. It sounds like a computer science role or something like that, and probably some time. Okay. So I'll say this. This is the trade-off that you would basically have. Like, do you want to forego sleeping tonight to get this done? Because this isn't probably something that takes just like 5 minutes. It probably is going to take a little time.
What's the consequence of one night of being sleepless?
It's usually like mine. It's sort of GM, controlled, but generally speaking, it's about a 20% penalty on skills and attribute tests. It could be even worse in some situations.
if we sleep in shifts, then Album will just do it whenever it's like his turn to keep watch and others are sleeping. That way he
That's
doesn't
fine.
take that minus.
We could do sleeps and shifts. It just means the next day I'll start further along. Okay.
Yeah.
Fawn
That's
can't
fine.
sleep because she failed her roll, so she's going to be up all night.
Okay.
And I got a success, by the way, 2 under 66.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, you will. So yeah, we don't necessarily have to get into the specific details of it, but ultimately, you're trying to essentially forge communication between these two people through social media, through email, etc., and make it look like they have set up some kind of tryst. Yeah, done. Vessel, you're the other person who's awake. You can go to sleep if you want. Is there something else
Yeah,
you
I
want
was
to do
hoping
again?
just to go
Middle
to-
of the night.
Just get some rest and see what happens.
No problem. Yeah, you don't have sleeplessness or an issue like that, so you can go ahead and just take it and just restore your willpower as you wake up in the morning. Fawn, you're up all night. Eventually, Album goes to sleep. Chelsea, no problem. Fawn, if you want, we'll say it's a new day technically. If you want to try to do another roll late, because like you did one probably around 10 o'clock the previous day, and now you're trying again. You can do another roll in the morning if you want.
Okay.
So sanity rolls basically. So close. No. Okay.
Okay.
Exhausted. You are utterly exhausted.
Yep. And so I lose 1d6 willpower.
I don't think you lose anything, do you?
An exhausted agent loses 1d6 WP and at handler's discretion they suffer -10 or -20 penalty.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and take that loss of WP.
This could be bad because I only have 5.
Roll fewer than 5. 1 to 4. Okay, you're still kicking.
Alright, 2 WP.
Okay. So we'll say mid-morning comes and everyone starts waking up that was sleeping. And Vessel, your phone, not your like cover phone that you use to communicate with them, but your personal phone, the one that you use to communicate with family, friends, etc. Your phone starts blowing up. Not literally blowing up, but as the kids say, blowing up.
Take a look what's happening.
It is.
So you have a text message and a voicemail from Kelly, your girlfriend-ish back in Vegas, who apparently it's emergency 911, and she's like one of the initial texts is, and when you listen to the voicemail, kind of the same thing. A water line burst in the bar at Miles Viles, and it's flooding. And she says, "Call me." And you can see that she's like kind of sending you pictures of water damage and things like that.
I'll call her as soon as possible right now then.
Okay. You give her a call. It's late morning since you guys did shifts, so it's probably early morning for her. She wakes up, and then you can see that apparently, according to the like these are happening now. So like she's been probably there. She's like, "Where the fuck have you been? For crying out loud! What's wrong with you? Like your bar, it's flooded. It just." I don't know what to do. Like I'm down the street at the sandwich shop. I see this thing, and like we've got emergency vehicles and things out front. It's crazy. They let me in. That took enough, you know. But like, I'm sending you more pictures now, and you just kind of keep hearing as you get your phone up. You hear the little thump 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 as like more pictures start showing up in your text messages.
Did this happen right now today?
Sometime in the night. I think like I don't know. Like I stopped by last night before close, and everything was fine, and then yeah, they call. I came in this morning to prep for my own place for the because you would think her sandwich shop probably opens up a lot earlier than yours, and that's when she saw everything.
I'm still in Boston. Right, that's where we are, right, Boston?
Mm-hmm.
Can you take care of that at all?
I mean, I'm not an owner. I'm not, and it's expensive. Like it's a main water line. It just burst. And while you're talking, go ahead and roll an alertness test. You have fairly high alertness, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Would Album be able to overhear this?
Oh my god, I barely got it.
What's your alertness, Album?
71.
Okay, that's probably high enough that you would hear little blips here and there from the conversation. You could hear, obviously, you can hear Vessel's side of it, and you can hear some of Kelly's side of it, but probably not the whole thing. But you get glimpses of the conversation. So
Album will just kind of say, like, in a smart ass way, like, just turn the water main off to the building and it'll stop flooding.
Right out. I'm sure they can handle it.
okay, I know.
Can you call somebody? Just let them know I can't come back and take care of it, but I'll make sure I owe you.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess I can take care of it, but it's probably better if, the owner was here. Now, as you're talking, like, something's kind of like you're hearing sounds in the background, right? Like you're here, but like it's different things here and there. Some of it's just sounds like, white noise here and there. But then you start to notice like there's a pattern of something, and it's like a clacking sound. Just hear like this weird kind of clacking sound that continues to happen. It's like I don't know.
Morse code is.
No, it doesn't seem like Morse code. But it's strange. It's like every time you can kind of hear her moving, and then you hear the clacking, and then she starts talking, and then you hear the clacking, and she just keeps talking about like the pictures I sent. Like, look at all, like, there's so much damage. This is like you're gonna have to talk to the insurance company. Like, they're gonna.
Yeah, while I'm looking at the pictures, I'll ask if she hears that noise as well.
What noise? I mean,
The clack.
I'm sloshing around in like a couple inches worth of water in here. I don't hear clacking. I hear sloshing, and then clack, 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 clack. And as you're going through, critical success will give you this. As you're going through the images, like on the phone, maybe you put it on speaker and start flipping through. You notice that one of the images is of like the bar area, and behind the bar there's a mirror, and then like you can see all the booze and stuff stacked up. And you see what looks like Kelly, and you recognize her. She's got like the same kind of wild hair that she usually does. You can see she has like this shirt of like a Heart music tour. Like you and her went to like a a House of Blues or something, and so it's very familiar. And it's then that you notice that it's not her. It's her face is sort of wooden. It's got the same basic contours. You can see like the eyes are kind of drawn in or carved in. You can see like these weird lines by the mouths and where these angles are at the elbows and stuff, these joints. And you see lines that are kind of holding her up to the ceiling. And that's when you put together that the clacking sound is sort of the movement of this like wooden arms and legs whenever she shifts around.
Kelly, you feeling all right?
I'm feeling fine, other than I'm standing, shin deep in water, and I have vegetables to prep and cut, and I got a lunch rush to prepare for, and that my so-called significant other has decided, just for whatever reason, to just fly to the other side of the country without telling me why and disappear. Feeling kind of alone here. Clack, 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 clack.
I'll explain soon. It's really confusing, but it all makes sense. And thanks for taking care of it, but I've got to go.
All right, fine. You hang up the phone. Roll sanity,
For sure.
as you might expect.
No more of these points. I feel.
Of course you fail. Oh, boy.
No,
I can't really call her back
Race
to
down.
draw my sanity.
It's like
I don't know why I'm rolling. Just take one. You're fine.
the sanity game just becomes like watching the sands just trickle out of an hourglass slowly.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, take 1 point. So, you hang up the phone, and you go through some of the other images, and you see more reflections here and there. Some of them are in a window. You know, it looks like she took a picture in like some of in the bathrooms, like the men's bathroom, the women's bathroom, things like that. Same thing. Everywhere, every reflection you see of her holding up her phone and taking a picture of something. You recognize the clothing. You've seen that shirt 100 times. You probably bought that shirt for you like a month ago when the concert happened. You know, all of those are things that this is her, this is her, this is her. And she looks exactly like you would think a marionette of Kelly would look like.
Well, my bar's flooded, and apparently my girlfriend's fake, so that's a good start to the morning.
Yep.
And the bar is flooded in the pictures? Like it is flooded?
Yeah, that didn't seem to be a lie. Like she's taking pictures of the floor here and there, and you can see there's definitely water on the ground, swirling here and there.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to like call somebody to kick her out of the building, or what are you going to do?
I can call some servicing people, but hopefully she can take care of it.
So as you're looking at your phone, kind of flipping through, a notification pops up. It's a Meetup app notification.
Oh.
And you see that it says Encounter Group East Boston, Massachusetts. It's for 7 p.m. at 65 London Street, East Boston, at a church called the Most Holy Redeemer.
I'll let them know. I've got another encounter meetup if we ever want to check that out.
Now, you don't even remember ever installing
Right.
the Meetup app.
I remember
By the way.
looking at info on a billboard, so I don't know if it's the same thing.
We've seen other encounter groups.
Mhm.
So, do we think maybe that's the entrance? Like
That's-
maybe
yeah.
you're getting that notification. Maybe that's the entrance to Broadman.
Album is kind of like, yeah, they didn't really they didn't specify how we would get into Brattlebin or when, so it's possible.
Seems like we're just looking for. What's the date again?
Today for today
It's the
is
12th.
September 10th.
The 10th. Okay, because there's another one at on the 12th
Oh,
at a rehab center.
yeah,
You have
that's
one
the one
in-
I had written down.
You have one for the 11th and one for the 12th. Search is on Tinder. Sounds good.
Well, maybe that's the door. Or maybe once we wake Chelsea up, we're going to open this door, and maybe that'll be the door. Because there's doors freaking everywhere, apparently, for some people. And
So do you wake her up, Chelsea?
has it been...
Yeah, it's fine. For her to get her rest? Yeah, that's fine. Been plenty of time. Yeah, you wake her
Yes,
up and
I
you
do.
watch as the window on the wall just scoops up and disappears. And Chelsea, you are awake in the room.
Morning.
And like Chelsea doesn't really say anything to you guys because y'all have been weird, really weird.
Oh, we've been weird.
You have especially been weird.
I have been playing my part perfectly. I threw a knife at you. That is something a paranoid person would do.
Yeah, but like Chelsea doesn't have context of what's wrong with y'all, so she just kind of goes back to her corner because I think before she went to bed, she was catching up on all her notes and things.
Yep. That's fine. So what do you guys want to do? It's late morning, Thursday. You have no real understanding of how to interpret the "it is done" and what it means.
Nope.
It sounds as though Album has managed to make some progress on setting up the fake tryst. They're still getting into the laptop of the other job that you were assigned by Mr. Wild. And then there's like a host of other things that you could do, whatever it is you feel like doing. It's just, what do you feel like doing? And you do know that at some point it seems as though the cops dispersed from the area.
Yeah, that's what I want to check up on. I want to creep out into the hallway, maybe peek out, see if there's any like watch set up.
Okay, you creep out into the hallway. You look down the halls here and there. See a couple people getting up out of their rooms and leaving. Some people kind of give you like a nice courtesy nod or something like that, and other people get on the elevator here and there, and you don't see any signs of police.
Do you think maybe I should have asked for the police to just forget about us? Then we could have found our own way into Broadalbin.
It's like a genie. Like, did you do the right thing with the wishes that you had?
Yeah.
Can I try to because there was a whole SWAT team and everything, so can I
Sorry.
look for you know, just if there's any local news stuff, you know,
Sure.
you know, police activity at our hotel,
Yep.
SWAT team. Blah,
You,
blah,
in
blah.
fact, find that exact story, police activity at the Boxer Hotel, a historical landmark within Boston. And like in this sort of transitions then into the broader search for 4 escaped violent psychiatric patients from the Dorchester house, responsible for injuries and potential deaths of several members of the Dorchester facility. At one point, you see an interview with Detective Emmeline Skahane, who is specifically talking about the woman known as Chelsea in the photos, and how she's been involved in multiple strange reports over the past several days. You do get the sense that Skahane does seem somewhat sympathetic, and at a certain point, she just is just like, she can harm others, but she can also harm herself, and she needs help, is kind of what the general gist is. You also, at a certain point, Fawn, if you kind of flip on a television or you start watching videos on the phone, you do see that there is coverage of a local police station in the area around where your previous hotel was, not the one that you're currently in, that shows a group of DEA and FBI agents that are kind of swarming about. If you show this to nope, never mind about that last point. But yeah, the DEA and FBI agents and stuff. So you see like the windbreaker jackets and things like that of certain FBI agents. And then it's just like on the ticker of the broadcast. No one really knows exactly what's going on. Somehow they're getting involved in what is becoming a very convoluted and complicated search for these escaped patients.
I don't know that I'm gonna be successful at this, but like one thing that comes to Fawn's mind is how like Delta Green agents act like different agents of different government agencies. So I want to try to see, like, I don't know what this would look like. Maybe like the jackets don't fit quite right, or just trying to look for little clues in the video to see.
What's your bureaucracy?
Like, 40?
No, yeah, that's fine. No, nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Okay.
So what do you guys want to
The
do?
net is closing, folks.
Are you guys going to hang out inside the hotel all day, or are you going to go out and do something?
No, we're trying to get to this meeting tonight.
It's tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got, we'll put it around 10 a.m. You have like 9 hours before that would happen.
Fun. So I may have gotten the tryst set up, but given the general like camouflage that this room seems to offer, I was thinking of taking another crack at that military goon's laptop to try and break into it. So I can stay behind here, but if you think I should go with you guys to check out this encounter group, just let me know.
It's not till later in the evening.
So you think from here you'll be able to get into the laptop?
I got in once before when I was connected to some random civilian's Wi-Fi, but I think they tracked my signal, and that's why I disappeared. I went to destroy my laptop and hard drive, or destroy the hard drive, not the laptop. But I feel like since we weren't found while being actively chased by the SWAT, I think a cyber attack would probably be equally unsuccessful.
Fawn doesn't really get computer stuff. That's not her area. She's a dirt and archaeology stuff. And she's like,
Yeah, and like Chelsea overhears you talking to Fawn about that, like, okay, like that's not everything I do. Okay.
Album will crack open his laptop and start trying to gain access to the encrypted military laptop so he can decrypt and write down the third letter of the names.
Okay. Vessel, you're still kind of scoping out the hotel, I think, right? You're just kind of like peeking around, looking for any signs.
Mhm.
And then Chelsea and Fawn, what are you two going to do?
I'm trying to think of places that we should go that we haven't, like.
It's kind of concerning to go anywhere right now. So I got a ton of names that I heard when I was in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
She's just gonna start looking them up, seeing what she can pull up on them.
You already got that info. Those were the names of kids who
Oh,
were...
yeah. But I thought I got the name of another person. I could be wrong.
I don't think so. It should have just been a list of... No. There's ones, like, it started, like, it starts with Peter DeVoris, and then it was a list of more names.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I had that mixed up with something else.
So I do want to stress, and this is one of the things that's talking, like, understand what's happened in this room. Like, you guys have made this into your lifeboat, but at the same time, Chelsea was murdered here. A creature tried to come out of the curtain. Gongs have sounded, causing intense fear of dread to anybody who seems to have stayed within the room by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Ghosts have given you things here and there, and stuff has just manufactured. So, do you want to keep staying here, or like the GM in me wants you guys to do something? So are we just gonna hang out in here for the day and fast forward to late tonight, or are you guys gonna go do something?
Yeah, I want to scope out the church area before the meetup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
and maybe try to look at, because we know 3 different encounter groups, so maybe we could scope out each of the 3 locations and kind of see like what they have in common or what's around them or whatever.
Okay, so Vessel and Fawn, you're gonna go start scoping out some of the locations for these encounter groups. Perfect. Chelsea?
I'll go along.
Okay. Album, are you gonna stay around in here by yourself?
Yeah, I'm not staying with you, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Album's definitely earned it. Honestly, yeah, Album knows it's like a crazy damn idea, but he's like, I need to be masked, so I'm just gonna risk staying here by myself. If you find my bones, burn them.
Okay. All right. So 3 of you, you head out. Go ahead and make stealth tests as you try to get out of the hotel unseen.
27.
Ooh.
Okay.
Do we have any
81.
rerolls left?
I don't know. Melissa, I think, was keeping track of them.
I failed.
81 over 32.
What did you get, Melissa?
I failed 65. Very
Remember, stealth is contested, so it's not about. So I just kind of want to know the number, basically. Okay. All right. So the 3 of you get out into the parking lot. Do you stop, linger, do anything like that?
No, I think the one thing Chelsea's going to be focused on first is just like maybe hitting up like a secondhand clothes shop or something.
Okay.
And changing her outfit.
Okay. So you get in your car, drive around, find a Goodwill or some other similar secondhand clothes store, and the 3 of you pull off and you start going through and getting changed. Now, Vessel, as you're driving around, you come to an intersection, or maybe while like Chelsea and Fawn go inside and you're just kind of hanging out in the car, you look down a street, and when you look down a street, it's a very kind of bizarre feeling as you realize that there is not a single person anywhere on the street whatsoever. There's no one on the sidewalks, and this is a fairly busy area, and you can see that every other street that you look down, every other parts of the intersection has a couple dozen people here and there. You don't see cars moving. There's a series of cars that are just stopped. And with your alertness, you can notice that none of the cars actually have anyone in them. And as you're watching and just kind of peering, you notice as like a flock, almost like a flock of birds just begins to descend from the sky, and you realize there's just dozens of people hanging from these strings that are just slowly brought down. Some of them are set gently onto the sidewalks themselves. Some of them across a crossing walk. Some of them are literally placed into a position where like one is holding the door for another going into the shop. Others are kind of slipped through sunroofs or open windows of some of those cars that are unmoving in the middle of the street. And then just like that, once all of them in position, all the cars start moving, all of the people on the sidewalk start walking. The door kind of slowly opens and then closes, and as if everything was a pause, these puppets came down, and then everything started moving once more.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just at the driver's seat staring at it happen. And just thinking to myself, it's all play. I'm not real. It's nothing. None of this is real.
And it's at that point where you notice, like, walking right down the middle of the street, like between the two lanes of traffic, like right down the middle lane, you can see that there is a figure in like army fatigues, or not army fatigues, I should say, but like an old like green army vest or army jacket, big old gas mask on, and they're carrying what looks like a large shotgun, and they're walking directly at the parking lot where you have set the car outside the shop. They're a ways away, but they were walking with some urgency directly at where you're parked.
I'll drive away.
Okay. You leave Chelsea and Fawn inside. Okay. All right. Chelsea, you start going through some of the clothes and things like that. You manage to pick up a couple of things. Roll a disguise test as you try to kind of change your look a bit.
Okay. 81 over 11.
Okay. Yeah, you do your best to kind of pick a few things together. And then, yeah, you go ahead and change your clothes, pay for it as best you can, and then you leave. When you step outside, you realize the car is gone. And you don't see Vessel.
Great. I am going to pull up Google Maps and start walking towards the encounter group area.
Fair enough. I'll say Fawn's probably with you. Back in the hotel. Album, go ahead and roll a computer science test, or yeah, go ahead and do that, or your
Success 64.
You're in the room for about 15 minutes after everybody leaves. You're typing away, and that's when you hear a immensely loud sound of a gong echoing throughout the entire room, to the point where the small little tchotchkes and things that are on the wall and some of the stacks of these Abigail Wright possessions tip over. You don't really see any source of it, but you can certainly hear it, and it's not the first time you've heard it. And again, that sense of dread begins to like wash up into you like a horrible cold case of anxiety. You hear distant flutes, distant drums, as if like in the next room through the wall. And slowly you just feel this intense dread come over top of you.
Okay.
What do you do?
He'll just curse, mutter to himself, and take his project out into the hallway. And he'll also keep the door open at least, so if he needs to dip back inside in case a SWAT member comes up, he can.
Okay. You leave the door open, and you watch through the door as the curtains on the far wall that normally keep the dream window obscured from the rest of the room begin to flutter, as if there's something behind them.
All right, change of plan. He'll close the door.
Okay, close the door. And then the distant drums and flutes sounds are suddenly gone. So you plop down in the middle of the hallway, or do you go somewhere?
Yeah, there's nothing. There's like nothing in the hallway, right? So it would look kind of bizarre to just plop down there.
Yeah, there's
like,
a couple like discarded, plates that are getting ready to be picked up or stuff like that from room service the night before.
I think to be like less awkward looking, he'll like walk over to where the vending machine was, and sit down next to that, because I guess that would kind of look somewhat natural.
Okay. So you went ahead and you succeeded on your roll to hack into, like remotely this guy's database, right?
Yeah,
so that's what you're trying to do.
His encrypted military laptop. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the laptop? You don't have the laptop. You guys never.
No, we never actually went to the location.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so you're not able to get into his laptop. Like, you're able to get into basically personnel files and things like that. So you can kind of time out when he'll be assigned on duty there. But in terms of like it's not cloud based. So like anything that would be on his laptop is literally on his laptop. Yeah.
Okay. What day of the week is it again? Saturday?
It's Thursday.
Oh. Okay. He leaves early on Thursdays, so I think Album might go to the NOSC Quincy Center.
Okay, fair enough. So you go ahead, hop in your car.
I'll roll a stealth roll.
Yeah.
Please. Oh my god, I succeeded. 25.
Okay. On your way out, you notice that there are two black and whites out in front of the Boxer Hotel. They seem to be talking to the manager, some of the workers there. They do not seem to notice you. You're not necessarily close enough to hear them, but if you wanted to push your luck and try to get closer, you could, or you could just say, F it, and get the hell out of here.
Oh, so even with the 71 alertness, I can't overhear?
No, I don't think so. Not without you getting a little closer than that, because they are literally outside the front door, and so I'm giving you, I guess the stealth, you're kind of like sneaking around. Right. Do you want to try to get up close and do this?
I'm assuming pushing my luck would be either another stealth roll or a literal luck test, right?
Yeah, I think we could just do a luck test to see if you're close enough, or if they're talking loud enough that your alertness would pick up on what you heard. So yeah, you can do luck if you want.
Okay, yeah, I'll try a luck.
Yeah, just do luck.
46.
Okay. That's a pass. They are talking specifically about having seen two of the people from the psychiatric photos, like two of the escapes, and specifically they seem to be describing the two women that were in the four photos. There's like they're asking questions if they see any of the men, and they're like, no, we don't really know, but we saw them leave. They came down from above, like they were staying somewhere up here, and you overhear how like well, what we're gonna do is we'll don't worry about it. We'll get some more people out here. We'll kind of look around. We'll start planting. We're planting some people inside the hotel, various floors. So if they are hiding in here, don't worry. You've done the right thing. That kind of thing. So we thought they had run away, escaped, found an exit, but apparently they've been hiding somewhere. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna send some folks back, and if they're hiding here, we'll root them out, guaranteed.
Album wants to try to divide the police forces. So when he gets back to his vehicle, he's gonna want to try and this will be, I guess, using computer science again, but I'm gonna try and make it look like two of us took a bus line out of Boston, on one highway route, and then another two of us took another bus on a separate route, to make it look like we're trying to flee the city. So they have to split their forces up to quote unquote head us off or something.
How exactly do you want to do that?
So I'm wondering if I could doctor in some kind of like purchase of bus tickets, and like we're trying to be stealthy, but like enough to where it could lead a breadcrumb trail. So like using a credit card or like something that would flag their attention, but not completely overt. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, you're basically assuming that they're maybe tracking your credit cards and things like that. or
Yeah,
your purchase.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Who would you want to say are the ones that are like leaving the city?
So I was gonna do two pairs. So it would be like Chelsea and Fawn taking like the north route, and then like Vessel and Album taking the south route, kind of thing. So they have to split up, type of thing.
Okay.
I feel like that'll give us better odds of sneaking.
Yep, that sounds good. Go ahead and you can do another computer science. Actually, no, I don't think no rolls really necessary here. You're just purchasing stuff. That's all you're doing. There's like no hacking really here. You're literally purchasing things with the credit cards, right?
Well, I'm trying to. I think it would technically be like some sort of like hacking, because I'm trying to make it look like either Chelsea or Fawn is buying a set, and then I guess like Album or Vessel are buying a set, and then putting it into like their like finance records or like whatever records they would keep that the police would have access to.
Okay. What's your accounting at?
It's at 10.
Me too.
All right. Roll accounting plus 20 to see if you
Okay.
can, because your computer science skills enough. I believe that you can hack into credit card databases and stuff like that. Your skills are very, very high. It's just a question of So
Do
you
we
get in
have any
there.
rerolls?
Melissa, do we have rerolls left from last
Yeah, we
week?
do have a few left.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll try one just for the hell of it.
Okay.
A little bit better.
All right, so this is what I'm going to treat this as. You're successfully in, and it's just about making it look real as like the accounting role, making it look like this is like a natural purchase. This is a natural process. And so if anybody is like going through and doing any kind of forensic accounting, trying to figure out where you all are, they're going to be rolling something against that accounting roll is what's going to happen.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. We're going to shift back over to the store. Melissa, you had a step away. Vessel saw something strange, saw a shotgun guy coming at him. He was waiting out in the parking lot, and he drove the car away. You and Chelsea went inside. Chelsea was getting clothes. While Chelsea was getting clothes, Fawn, you're looking around. This is like a Goodwill used store, so it's not just clothes, but there's lots of different things, and you're just kind of moving up and down the aisle here and there when you notice that in one of the aisles that you go down, there is like a whole list of like these old books, and you can see a lot of really pulpy paperbacks and like these big old hardcovers from the early days of like Barnes and Noble and things like that, that people are stacked in 5, 10, 15 copies. And you notice that one book seems to just, as you're walking down and there's no one else in this hall, just sort of shuffle out itself, like it's pushing itself out from the shelf itself.
What?
Hey Seth, how's it going?
Just sort of get taken aback, and then obviously grab it because.
Okay. So you pull this kind of book out, and you realize that it's like an old composition lab notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, kind of the black and white coloring, the bind on the one side, kind of small. And you can see that on the front there is a big like penciled in triangle in green ink, and it's just like this green triangle that's been hand drawn onto it, and you can see the name Victor Corell has been written.
I will open the book and see what's inside.
Yeah, you open up this composition book, and there is not loose leaf paper inside. In fact, it actually seems like a print, like almost like a dot matrix print up, even with the shading lines, like kind of the off-white and then the green, then the off-white, then the green, then the off-white and the green. And you start reading through it, looks like a internal Delta Green documents. You specifically notice that as you're reading, it describes, it seems the focus is on a person named Victor Corell, but there's also a woman by the name of Louisa Reggie that is mentioned, and There's kind of like brief kind of bios and psychological profiles in the beginning, describing them as like struggling writers trying to find, their breakthroughs. Kind of goes through like work history. Most of it seems to be pretty benign. You notice that they seem to be located within Chicago. Carell spent a lot of his time like tutoring, things like that. Louisa worked as a flight attendant for a while. And sometime around 1996, Louisa finally had a breakthrough. She started writing kind of occult fiction. And 10 years after that is where Victor Carell kind of comes into the picture. And he was apparently documented purchasing the personal effects of a name that you remember, that you've encountered before, of Ian F. DeCraig from the Cook County Jail in Chicago. And of note, and kind of underlined and highlighted, is a well-worn book written in Latin. According to the bio, Victor Carell was fluent in Latin, and he attended some kind of all-boys religious school as a kid. And from what Delta Green can gather, the book was some kind of version of The King in Yellow. And that's where like kind of Louisa sort of fades away, and it just, as you keep kind of turning these pages, it's just more and more of these accounts of like what looks like agent notes about investigating Carell. October 31st, 2006. There's notes about going to a Kiss FM Halloween party as a giant figure robed in tattered gold and wearing a white mask. He was apparently handing out 23 photostatic copies of his screenplay that was based on The King in Yellow as some kind of prop. November 12th, 2006, he began filming his screenplay, which he was titling A Song Before Travel. Name of a movie, by the way, that you've probably heard. Yeah. April 2nd, 2007, he completes A Song Before Travel. He posts a 2-minute trailer on YouTube, and apparently the video was flagged by Delta Green for the incorporation of the yellow sign, but they were struggling to kind of remove it and reduce its views, as once something gets out there, it's hard to kind of uncork that bottle. April 9th, 2007, 190,000 views on the trailer for A Song Before Travel. It caught the eye of a Hollywood producer got involved by the name of Simon Kirkland. And that's where the small makeshift YouTube project for his film blew up into an indie film. May 2007, Song Before Travel is a single showing at the Granada Theater in Chicago, at a thought house that was apparently designed by Asa Darabandi. And there was an event, like according to eyewitnesses, the show was interrupted by a group of people breaking in the fire door and rushing in front of the screen, including a man in a gas mask. May 6th, 2007, deaths started to occur following A Song Before Travel, including numerous names. Some of these deaths were kind of unnatural, and some of them, the phrase, were as a result of an active static protocol. Louisa Reggie is found in her home on a lake near Chicago, having apparently hanged herself about a month before. And then there's like lists of different people. One of those is a name you recognize, and that would be the name of your sister.
Static protocol we saw in relation to the cleanup of Operation Bristol?
That's correct.
So static protocol seems to be some sort of a like cleanup.
Yeah, it's a ruthless response to the threat of something. Oh, Yeah. Just basically like a ruthless response to a threat.
In total, roughly 300 people died or in some way connected to this exposure to the King in Yellow, to A Song Before Travel.
And what happened to Victor Carell?
As far as you could tell, Active Static tried to track him to his home, which was an apartment in Chicago, and that's where a couple of the agents, when they confronted him, were killed by a figure that Carell later identified as, quote, the King. But Victor Carell was secured by two of their surviving agents, and they all fled the building. And there's no more information after that on where Victor Carell was taken to, etc.
Was there any connection with these artists to, and I'm kind of blanking on the full name, it was like Life something or another that had connected?
Art
everybody
Life
that
was
lived?
the name
Art
of
Life.
the... No, that was in New York, and
Okay,
they were
just making sure there
Yeah,
wasn't
you don't
like
see
a
any
connection.
connection.
Okay.
And it's at that point that Chelsea kind of flags you down as you're just flipping through this. And, oh boy, Chelsea just had a big old sneeze. She sneezes all
Sorry.
over the book. And the two of you go out into the parking lot and you see that Vessel has left. Where has Vessel gone?
I was taking a lap just to make sure I was going to chase after.
All right, you do a lap, you come back around, and you don't see the figure anymore, but you do see Chelsea and Fawn standing outside of the store. Very, very angry looks on their faces.
I'll pick him up, see what's going on.
Where'd you go?
I might have been seeing things, but I thought someone was coming after me. I just took a lap.
Okay. Well, and then like Chelsea just proceeds to pull up like directions on Google Maps.
Okay.
And Fawn's gonna like I found more information about my sister, and the author that wrote the story that got turned into the movie that kills her in Chicago. It's like I was in the book section and there was a composition notebook. It just sort of moved for me to grab it, and this is all the information. And I want to show it to them, and I want to see what they see. So I'm gonna hold out the composition notebook to
Okay.
Chelsea and Vessel and see what they see in the composition notebook.
Yeah, it's a composition notebook with a bunch of random sketches and drawings from some very angsty teenager.
Damn it.
It's great.
See
I hope
what I see.
I hope it proves useful to you, but do we still have the clothing and like mask we found when we raided Nurse Samagina's apartment? Because wasn't she like one of the encounter group people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you would have that. Yeah,
wanna
we
see
haven't
if we
really
can
been itemizing that as much, but yeah, we would say you have it.
Yeah, I want to see if we can make like enough cloaks and masks for us for the meeting later.
Okay. Go back in the shop, try to get some arts and
Just some
crafts
material.
things.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any kind of craft roll?
Ooh. I have art theater.
Oh.
You know what? I'll take it. What's your score in it?
It's 5.
It's 5. You have art theater at 5. How do you have art
How
theater
do you
at
have
5?
I
I have painting.
remember doing something that gave me 5 and then random art skills. Like
Yeah.
You took theater.
That's so funny. Vessel doing theater.
Vessel did theater. He really wanted to be an actor as a kid, and he ended up going into law enforcement. Okay. You have painting, you said, Chelsea? What do you
Yeah.
have in painting?
19.
I've got 20.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Just give me a flat... Vessel, this is your idea.
Yeah.
Give me a plus 20 roll on your art theater. You're getting help from the two of them. Give me a plus 20, so it's like a 1 in 4 chance that you can... And this is just about making them like really, really good. Otherwise, you're still going to make them. It's just a question of how good the...
I failed. I got 38.
Okay. Still not
You're
bad.
gonna look like a middle school project.
Okay. So yeah.
It just looks like a bathrobe instead of like like a nice
Okay.
fancy room.
Album, where are you headed?
He was going to what was it called? NOSC Quincy.
Sure. Yeah. Do you let anybody know where you're going?
Yeah, he would send a text message to Fawn saying like going to Naval Dude's base, probably won't make it. Good luck.
As per usual, lone wolf in it.
Yeah. Though, to be honest, he's got the most health and sanity of anybody left in the group, so maybe it's working out for him. I don't know.
There's
That's
an argument
true.
to be made.
I'll give him the idea if he's going for the laptop to maybe swap it out with a replica. Or like
Okay.
a dud one.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully, if I roll a luck test, it'll be the exact same model as Album's.
All right. So you head over to 85 C Street, Quincy, Massachusetts. This is a real place. I apologize if anybody's watching that works there. But yeah, you head there. It is not a base. It is just. It looks more like a just a business center. It's single story, fairly lengthy,
Commercial
couple
center
different
with a gym.
entrances. There is a gym attached on one side. Parking lots are on either side of the building. There's no. You can pull right in. There's no security, nothing like that. There's no gate. There's not even one of those, kind of up, down, whatever the words are. Gate, I guess. I already used that word. Nothing like that. You can easily pull into the parking center. It is busy. Like you see that there's other cars here. There's people coming and going as you kind of drive back and forth here and there and take a look at it. But it does seem open for business. It's the middle of the day. So what do you want to do?
Was there like a? Because I remember the information that I had gotten was that he leaves early on Thursdays. So normally he works 7 to 4 p.m. So I'm assuming like leaving early is like an hour, or is that? What time would it be like right now?
Probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Okay. Then Album's just gonna like hang out. Oh, did we have like a physical description or a photo
Yeah.
of him from like the
Yes,
stuff
you
that
do
we
have
did?
a photo of him. I believe
Cool.
you
So
do.
then Album will just hang out in his vehicle and try and see if he has any like leftover supplies. Because I remember back for Dorchester, he had made like some supplies to spoof an RFID chip or
Yeah.
card. So his plan might be to like enter through the gym, which I'm assuming is badge access. So while he's trying to do that, he'll just keep an eye out for this naval officer to leave.
Okay. Yeah, your alertness is high enough that around 2 o'clock, actually, just shortly, a couple minutes after 2, you do in fact see the man that I just shared the picture with. You can see a man probably in his 50s, Caucasian, graying at the temples, such and such. But you see him leave. He's got like a little briefcase with him. Kind of waves at a couple folks here and there who are outside. Or who are going into the gym, or who are getting in their cars, coming and going from lunch, something like that. Well, yeah, you go ahead and you see him, and he's got a pretty basic looking sedan, kind of silver sedan.
Can I grab a picture of the license plate in case he has the laptop in the briefcase with him?
Yeah, take a quick little photo of it, no problem.
Okay. Yeah, so then Album will just wait until he's gone, and then he'll try his luck at using his fake badge at the gym entrance. So he's
Okay.
not like, greeted by some random secretary or something.
Yeah, we already did I think we already did the badge roll, right?
I just have in my notes. Whoops, I went too far. Hold on a sec. Yeah, so I set up like an app on my phone that can like scan the card reader. And then I have the materials to make cards once I have like the serial number or like the frequency. I think that's how I kind of plan to do it.
Okay. Well, you head over to the gym, and it's kind of a moot point because you can see that the door is open, and it's being propped open. You can hear there's people working out inside. It's middle of the day. You can peek in briefly, and you can see there's probably about 4 or 5 people that you can see clearly that are going through. Mostly there's like a whole mess load of like exercise bikes and things like that, and occasional setups for weights. But yeah, you can see there's people in there. You can hear it sounds like a radio going. It just sounds like a kind of classic rock station.
Okay. Album will think back to like conversations he's heard from people in his past work at NASA of like, oh, like just fake it till you make it kind of thing. So he's just gonna like walk into the gym like he belongs there, like, okay, this is how humans act. And he's actually gonna sit on an exercise bike and like he'll actually do like 10 minutes on there to just sell the believability that like he's an employee just working out. And then he'll make his way out into where the desk is.
Okay. What are you wearing?
Ever since we got our like appearance has changed, Album would probably do like, you know, like jeans and like a sweatshirt because it's September, so it's cooler weather. So like, you know, like a hoodie, sweatshirt, and like jeans.
It's not that cool,
casual.
but yeah, okay.
Did we do
It's
this
okay,
last
so-
chapter of like following somebody into gym being totally
Yes.
not dressed appropriately
That's
for
exactly
gym?
correct. So in sweatshirt and jeans, you go inside this this military gym, and you hop onto an exercise bike and you just start spinning. Okay. No one really paid attention to you too much when you came in, and then at a certain point, like you see the people start like kind of looking over towards you, kind of like elbowing, looking, pointing at you here and there, and this is like a good 2-3 minutes in. They kind of notice you, but your alertness is high enough that you notice them noticing you. So yeah, and that's maybe when you look down and you realize you're wearing a sweatshirt and jeans and everybody else is wearing gym clothes.
Album's not
You
really
look very
concerned
odd.
about it. Yeah.
Okay. You can tell by the look of things that they're probably laughing at you. They're making jokes here and there. But none of them are getting on a phone or anything to call the cops. They're just sort of you think it's just like they're alerted to the strangeness of you as opposed to identifying you as somebody specific. But 10 minutes go by, you hop off. Where do you go?
He's going to want to make his way to where this person's desk is.
Okay. Roll a... I mean, you could do like a search, you could do a navigate, something like that, as you're trying to like move about, because it's not clear. There's a bunch of, you're going to go into basically what looks like an office hallways, tightly wound carpets and things.
I'll do a search.
Okay. I'm rolling.
Oh my
hidden
god,
tests.
exactly 56.
Wow.
What?
Okay. You eventually do, in fact, find his office. You pass by a couple people in the hallway who kind of look over towards you. And at this point, you're kind of sweaty, and they kind of react a little, look at you a little strangely. You've got like sweat beginning to mount on your sweatshirt here and there. A couple, once or twice you're asked like, can we help you with something there, buddy?
Yeah, and Album will just do like a polite smile and just say, "Oh yeah, just finished up in the gym and left my change of clothes. Gonna go get them."
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You work out in jeans and a sweatshirt.
Yeah, I'm relatively new to exercise, but I know like when you're trying to like burn fat, like you want to sweat more. That's what one of my friends said, so I figured this is like the heaviest stuff that I've got.
Where did you you're just new to exercise.
Like cardio.
You're naval reserves, but you're just new to exercise. Is it like a joke or something?
I mean, I'm a technology specialist, not exercise specialist. I did what I had to get through basic, but it's not like I memorized everything. I was more yelled at. You know how it goes.
Roll a persuasion test.
Words.
Oh my god!
You questioned me, dude.
Oh my god! Look at that! A critical success goes your way. And like, Oh, yeah. You IT guys. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Have a good one, man. I guess better late than never. You know, fitness routine, that kind of thing. We got spin classes and stuff every Wednesday if you're interested.
Do you guys wear pink?
No, we wear pink.
It's a reference, and Album will just walk away.
You're kind of like, who the fuck? I don't know, new hire maybe? And then they just kind of start wandering off. You lucky son of a bitch, a critical success. Oh my
The
god.
RP did not match the role there.
Exactly. Anything
feel like
short
it
of a
did.
critical success would have gone not well for you. But yeah, you make it through the halls and you get to the door of Captain C. Hamilton Chester. And you can see his name is on a placard outside. And it's a big old heavy kind of like oak door. And we'll switch over as you think about what you want to do next. And let's check in with Vessel and Chelsea and Fawn, who bought some stuff, probably drove to some random parking lot and started doing arts and crafts for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that we did.
And it's at that point that you guys, as you're there doing your arts and crafts, all of you look up and you can see that there is a figure that is marching towards you from the distance. You can see on the other side of the parking lot, and they are moving with great urgency, with intent. Borrow someone else's words, right towards you. And you can see, like, whenever anybody gets in their way, they either just sort of push past them, or the other people just kind of stop and let them pass. And they're coming right at you, about 100 yards away.
Gas mask person?
Gas mask, army green jacket, shotgun.
That's them. They were after me earlier. So, unless you want to chance it, you better get back in the car.
Okay. And because Chelsea's just like, I still don't know what the fuck's going on. So
Yeah,
she
I
gets
mean,
in the car.
I say we burn rubber.
Okay.
Start the engine, drive away.
You go to turn the key on the ignition. And it's at that point, as you turn the key, it snaps. And you look at it, and it's just some kind of piece of cardboard. The key itself, the steering column is, as you kind of, it shifts and it moves. You start kind of fiddling with everything else. You push down on the brake, and it just snaps. Steering wheel, as you start to turn, just kind of snaps.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing? It's breaking.
I don't understand. Like what? And so Fawn's gonna touch something like the glove box, or
Yeah,
door
you
handle
reach
or
out to
something.
grab the glove box, and you realize that the handle is painted on.
Yeah, I'm getting
What?
out of the car.
I'm gonna
You go to
pack on
open the door,
materials.
and the door just falls over flat onto the ground. You feel a rush of wind come at you, like a stage prop.
So Fawn is going to grab
just
her
typed that.
mag light and pepper spray. Like she's like, well, we can't drive away, so like flashlight in one hand, pepper spray in the other.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get my stuff and is there an area around here that's more like deserted?
I mean, you picked a fairly large parking lot where there's some space here and there. There's a bank. There's like a Walmart or something. Like you just something that's big and out of the way.
Okay.
What are you looking to do?
Walk away from
Okay,
like
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you get up and you just start walking away from this person. Yeah, what do you do, Vessel? Fawn, you
Right,
grab
yeah, I
your
wanna-
stuff.
Just grab our stuff and just get out of this parking lot then.
Yeah, I mean, if
Okay.
she's leaving, we should all stick together. So
Okay, so the three of you get out. You start like hustling in a different direction, away.
I'm gonna keep watch on this figure. See if they
Oh yeah, your alertness
Right.
is high enough. You can look back every now and then. They're following you. They're not like running. They're like moving with great quickness. And as you kind of start veering in different directions, you see they veer as well. As you guys are about 10, 15 feet away, you look back and you see this gust of wind, and you watch as your car just kind of picked up in the air and falls down flat on the ground. All of you go ahead and roll sand.
that's a fail.
That
One
is
point of
fair.
sand. 1 point of sand from the unnatural as you start moving away and you kind of get behind what looks like a Wells Fargo or something like that, a Bank of America, one of those big brand banks, and you kind of try to hide and elude this person.
Question
kick
from
back-
chat. What do the other cars look like? Do they look like cars? Like if we walk by another car, can we like...
You can. I assumed you guys probably parked away from everybody else, but if you want to walk towards a car, that's fine.
No, I just didn't know if like in the process of running away, if there's anything else to touch just to see.
Okay. Yeah. You start walking away. You start running. We could say you pass by what looks like a Honda Civic. As you walk by it, you kind of look through the window and you can see what looks like an empty car. Like it's like the frame of the car, but there's no seats. There's no console. It's just sort of an empty shell.
She's just no words. Like, where are we even gonna go? Like, this isn't...
Chelsea is continuing to
Yeah.
walk. Like,
Bond's gonna say aloud, sort of hopefully, not thinking this is actually gonna happen. If all of the cars are cardboard, maybe the gun's plastic. Maybe it's not actually gonna kill us. We should keep running. But just a thought. Maybe it's not actually... I don't know. But the SWAT
when have
people's
guns ever been fake?
they hurt. When they shot me, that hurt. So maybe it's not. And she's just like running through all of these like possibilities in her head as we're like speed walking away.
Okay. Over in the NOSC Quincy, you're at the door to Captain C. Hamilton Chester's office. What do you want to do, Alvin?
Try the door, see if it opens.
Yeah, you turn the handle. Appears to be locked. Do you have any kind of lock picking ability here?
It does not appear that I do. I could persuade the lock.
I was just gonna say that.
I
Yeah.
rolled to sway the goat.
Yeah, if they oh god. That was so funny. Oh, I want to sway the goat. I still laugh at that. So you don't have like any locks, like craft locksmithing, or do you have any kind of craft or anything like that might
Criminology.
apply?
Maybe, I don't know.
The only thing I would have is, I mean, I do have criminology 30, but I think that's more of like studying. I don't know. The only craft skills I have are cryptology of microelectronics and electronic security systems.
Okay. Well, you can try to use your electronic security systems if you want. It does look like this is like a scan door, like you put it up to the door. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
I'll
can try to
give it
roll
a
that.
go.
Oh my
That's-
god.
Wow. look
You
at
are
doing
This
Taking
is
up
like
all
the
this
meat and
luck.
cheese consortium
It
all
is.
over again.
Yes,
It is,
yes.
right? Oh
On
my
your
God.
own, you're
Eric
doing the
does
work.
his best work when we're not dragging him down, you know?
No.
The door opens and you step inside. It is a modest size office, probably about 12 by 12. You can see that there's a couple bookcases here and there. There's not a whole lot of books on them. There's some, but a lot of it more looks like like photographs and things of various events that they've probably held here, charity auctions, charity runs, when they've kind of graduated certain folks from their positions, stuff like that. You see that there is a floating desk and a chair behind it, and then a window behind that. There is a laptop that has been folded down and is sitting on top of the desk.
Okay. There's a window behind their desk. Is it just looking outside?
It's looking outside.
Okay. Is there a
We have
window
to
next to
check.
the door to the office?
Fair. What's that?
Is there a window next to the door, like looking into the office?
Next
know
to
how,
the
like, some
door
office-
looking into the office.
Like
Yeah,
there's
you know how,
a
like, there's,
door
like, a-
and then a pane of glass next to the
Yeah,
door.
like a small pane of window.
You critically succeeded, so we'll say no. No one can see you in here unless they
Oh,
walk
perfect.
by outside.
Yeah, he'll close the door behind him, and they'll get to work doing. Hold on, what was the request? Gaining access and writing down the third letter of every name of every file. Oh, and also, with my alertness, have I noticed any cameras that I've been like recorded by?
There have been cameras in here. Yes, there have been.
Is there one in
You-
this office?
You do not see any here, but you would have seen them moving through the hallway and going through the various entrances into the building.
Okay.
Whether or not like anyone's actively monitoring right now, you have no idea. It could just be recording and they look back on it later. But yeah, You're inside.
Okay.
Okay. So you want to just get busy doing what you were sent to do.
Indeed.
All right. So what's your computer science is super high, so I don't feel like you need to worry about rolling here. You've got time. You start going through, and you do you remember what you were supposed to do?
Yes. Gain access to laptop. You need to decrypt it and write down the third letter of the name of every file on the laptop without being discovered, whatever that means.
Okay. So you go through the folders, and you're looking for like a specific file. So you're supposed to decrypt it and write down the third letter of the name of every file on the desktop without being discovered.
Okay.
So you notice the desktop, and there's a series of files. Hang on, let me count. 11 files on the desktop. And you go through and you start marking down each of those third letters. And when you are done, you noticed you've written down on a piece of paper, I am awake now. Roll sand.
Great. Okay. I succeed.
Oh,
You're okay. You are crushing it right now. You have
Wow.
done what you were supposed to do. You've written it down. You've decrypted it. No one caught you, as far as you know. What do you want to do now?
Album
This has
wants
been
to-
the clutchest mission of
Right?
anybody
Oh my
ever
gosh.
in this show.
Fucking
Like
love it.
critical, regular success. So easy.
Under 30 too. So
Yeah,
not even-
it's
I
great.
know. Album is going to like leave the office the exact way that he found it, and then just leave. He's just going to
Okay.
go back through the gym.
You open the door, go back out into the hallway, and you feel a sudden gust of air on your face. As you look around, and you can see that you have exited what looks like the rear of a Bank of America.
So
Okay.
I'm on like a sidewalk on like a busy street.
You are like an employee-only like escape fire exit in the back of a Bank of America. You can see that there's a handful of parking spaces where it looks like some of the employees park. And you are back here. The door does that quick close. I guess it's kind of like a safety issue. And that's when you see, turning around the corner behind the bank, you see Chelsea, Vessel, and Fawn hustling towards you, their arms filled with robes and masks and other things. Vessel,
An OCS.
you're the first to see Album standing there as the door closes, and he's 15 feet from you.
What did you say, Vessel?
Oh, yeah, I was asking. I thought you were at the NOSC.
Album will just kind of look around and say, "Yeah, I thought I was too. I think I mean, apparently I wasn't, but I got into a laptop and I wrote down the letters, and all it said was, I am awake. Now.
I'm awake now.
Yeah.
Get it right, damn it. You got critical
I
success.
added the last word. I just realized I was a couple letters short. But yeah, Album will be like, and so I went to make my way out of the building, and I'm apparently in an alleyway.
Where's your car here? We're being chased right now.
And at that moment, you see, turning around the corner on the opposite side of Album from you, you see one of those figures with the shotgun in its hand brought up to its right up next to its face. It's getting ready to shoot, and it's walking right at Album. What do you guys do? And make your decisions quickly.
Can I throw the flashlight that I have in his head?
Okay, roll range combat.
I'm not so good at that, but do I
So
have
wait.
that?
just have a visual in my head. Are we like in an alleyway or
No,
what's
you're in the
terrain look
back.
like?
You're in the like it's a fairly large like shopping center area. You are like the bank itself is like you're in the back side of it. So like if you want to think of like this is like the employee alley behind a series of like of buildings and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like behind like a Safeway type alley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
What
Fawn is throwing this at like her flashlight at this guy. Vessel, Chelsea, Album, what are you doing?
Is there a ladder?
You do not see a ladder, no.
Can I do a Dex times 5? I don't think there's like a ranged combat.
Yeah, go ahead.
skill, or at least I don't.
It's firearms. That's right. Sorry. Yeah, roll dex time. Fine. That's fine.
Okay. Critical success, 66
Oh.
under 70.
Okay, roll a d4.
3.
Okay. Yeah. You hurtle this thing, and it looks like it's going right at Album's face, and it's at that point, Album, that you kind of like turn your head and you watch as this heavy mag light flashlight just tumbles over top of itself in the air, hurtles past you, and smacks this guy right in the face, doing 3 points of damage.
Right.
Vessel and Chelsea, what are you doing? Album had to step away for a sec. Looks like. There he is.
I'm just like finding cover, I guess.
Okay, you're finding cover, you're diving for cover. Okay.
Yeah.
Vessel, what are you doing?
Am I close enough, or do I have to like run up to this guy?
You're close enough that you could, like, what are you trying to do? I need to know what you're trying to do,
Oh.
whether you're close enough to do it.
Oh, I want to like restrain him if possible. Like I'll run at him.
Okay, so you wanted to
disarm him.
try to go and like grapple him or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you step up, and you're close enough to him that you can move and do something on your turn. So you're just gonna go up and attack. You can do melee. Is it melee? Or no, unarmed combat. Excuse me. Roll an unarmed combat.
Yeah. A success.
Okay. This will be contested. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that private, but you did succeed. 89 I rolled. Failure. And you said you want to unarm him? Or did you
Yes.
want to just... Okay, so you
I'm
walk
disarming
up, and as he's about to pull the trigger, you manage to just grab and shove your like an uppercut with the shotgun. And as it pushes up into the air and kind of flies away, it goes off, but it shoots up into the sky, and it rattles down a few feet from you. And you see, like, as you're doing that, right after that, he kind of reaches in and he pulls out a knife. Album, what are you doing?
Yeah, so if there's no like roof access, Album will, after seeing Vessel disarm him, will run up with his own knife and try and like make it to where this person can't use their hands to grasp things. So cut for like hand tendons.
Okay. So you specifically want to go for that. If you do that, that's a called shot, and it's more
Oh.
difficult.
Then I'll just go for a general attack then.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and roll your melee weapon.
Ooh, 84.
Okay. That'll be a fail as you kind of swing away. But between, Vessel, this man in the trench, it's just kind of hard to get a good swing, and he just manages to kind of duck out of the way ever so slightly. At this point, I want to go into proper initiative. Who's got higher than an 11 dex?
I do.
14.
Okay. What's
I have a
yours,
13.
Fawn?
14.
Fawn, what's yours? Okay, so Fawn's first at 14. And then Album, you said 13?
Yeah.
Okay. Chelsea, what do you got?
10.
Okay. And then Vessel?
I have a 10 as well.
All right. So you guys can go in whatever order you want between the two of you. So proper initiative now. Fawn, what are you doing? You guys are behind what looks like a Bank of America. You're in some kind of like strip mall area. There's employee parking. You're like the back alley behind like the shopping center stuff. Chelsea, you've ducked for cover behind a dumpster. It looks like. Fawn, you threw the mag light, but you're still probably about 10, 15 feet away. If you wanted to stride towards them and do something, you could. You see Vessel, Album, in this figure in the trench coat are all together and this melee. Fawn, you're up. What do you want to do?
I want to
And
try
again,
to
be quick with your decisions.
go for the ground. and try to just get the flashlight back.
Okay. You just want, so yeah, that's your turn. You run over, you pick up the flashlight, no problem. Album.
Unfortunately, I saw chat, and I want to go for the gas mask. I know it's a little meta, but he wants to try and pull that sucker off.
Okay. You want to pull the gas mask off. Go ahead and roll unarmed combat.
Are there re-rolls left?
Yeah, a couple.
I'll do a re-roll. I've got a pretty decent unarmed. That's a success.
Okay. Vessel, you see this as well. Album and Vessel, you're both close enough to see this. Fawn, I'm going to say you're not quite looking. You're picking up the flashlight.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you're a ways. You're not seeing this either. But Vessel, Album, you both see this. As you pull back the mask, you just rip it off. You see a face of just a long dead, horrific person. It's a face that you can see the skin has started to kind of decay, as if you're looking at literally a corpse. And as you look at it really closely, you notice that you recognize the face, Agent Album. You recognize the face as David Langford, cable man from the night floors you encountered briefly in the Dorchester house. His face is starting to decay. You can see bits of his jaw kind of sticking out between the skin. As you're watching, you see a bug just begin to kind of crawl out from within an empty eye socket and kind of down the face. I need both Album and Vessel to roll sand.
No.
That's a fail.
Oh man.
Both you failed.
Yeah.
Both of you rolled d8s.
Crap.
T8.
Is this for unnatural?
This is for unnatural.
Oh God. I regret following chat. That's a 7.
Oh, I got 5.
Oh my gosh.
Both of
Lauren,
you
how much do you
suffer.
have left?
Both of you would
5.
normally suffer temporary insanity, but don't forget you can push stuff off. So you can push stuff off onto your bonds. So do you both have willpower left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Both, and you, I assume both of you want to do this right now. Both of you are going to suffer temporary insanity from this.
Yeah, I'll try. How does it work again? You have to roll, and whatever you get, you take
Roll a
off. Roll a
d4, and you spend that amount of willpower and reduce the sanity loss by that amount, and reduce a bond score by that amount. So both of you roll d4s.
All right, I'll try it.
What's temporary insanity's threshold again?
Temporary insanity is 5, I believe.
God.
Oh, I got 3.
Okay.
Pretty nice.
Oh,
That
fuck
will-
me.
Okay. Well, it gets both of you. No, Album, you had 7 down to 6.
Yeah. it
Album
doesn't
still
help me at
suffers
all.
temporary insanity. Vessel, you're going down to 2, which should still trigger an acute episode. You pick whichever episode that you think is most thematic in this situation. Like, I'll leave that to you to decide. In terms of temporary insanity, so Album, it's basically run, flail away, and like attack this thing wildly, or just kind of like you're just kind of raging at it, or you just like you freeze up. So it's fight, flight, or freeze is the sort of the 3 options.
I think Album would do flight for sure.
Okay. So after ripping this off and seeing a man that you all have seen recently within the
Yeah.
last week that you think, looking as though he has been dead for years, behind this gas mask, all of you, the 2 of you who see this, freak the hell out. Vessel, you keep your composure. Album, you are in the process of running away. You haven't fully run away yet, though, but you're going to start fleeing. All right. Then it's his turn. I will 50-50 this. 1 to 3, it's going to be a Vessel he attacks. It is, in fact, going to be Vessel that he attacks. And so with a knife, he will lash out, because that's what he has. So this will be melee 35 is a success. Do you want to use your action this round to try to fight back, to try to parry, fight back, Vessel?
What does that do again exactly?
So it's a contested. So you'd be contesting this to try to keep from him attacking you. If your roll beats his, it serves as it serves as, not only does it block his, but then you can kind of choose a rider action, like knock him down, attack him back, that kind of stuff.
Oh, how much damage does the knife do? Do I know that?
D4 and it's armor piercing.
Yeah.
I don't mind giving you that info. It's a knife. It's a pretty standard standard weapon.
Oh, that's pretty risky. I'm gonna take the stab, see what happens.
You're gonna take the stab? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just a straight D4 then. Take 3 points of damage.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. Stays within the group as he's now flailing about, his head kind of this gross thing. So then we've got Vessel. You and Chelsea are next.
Yeah, so from the 2 sanity loss, I think I go into a little intermittent rage here. So upon seeing him, after just disarming him, I got the shotgun now. So I'll step back, just go into rage and start unloading onto him.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, the sound was getting kind of weird. Yeah, go ahead.
Firearms. Oh, can I reroll?
Have you read this scene?
I think we have one. Yeah, how many? We have one left. Yeah, you can do it if you want.
All right, I want to reroll this.
Point blank, you can take a plus 20 on this or something.
Oh, plus 20? It would have been
I'll give you
success then.
Okay.
It would have been 83.
That's fine. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Well, I don't know how much damage a shotgun does.
A shotgun? Okay.
His shotgun, because I disarmed him, right?
Okay, roll a luck test to see if you would have been able to grab the shotgun instead of just disarming the shotgun.
Okay.
Thank you for those bits there, 12 to just for you guys.
Success.
Critical success, absolutely. You go up, you grab
Finesse.
it, snatch it out, you flip it down, and you fire. It is a 2d6.
It's like one of those overdone scenes in an action movie where they like flip it around.
Got a 7 on it.
You just lower it right into the gullet, and you fire, and you see it just flail back, like fly backwards, giant hole opening up into the stomach, and they fall down to the ground. They're still kind of twitching here and there. You don't think they're fully dead. Mechanically speaking, they are at under 2 health. But yeah, they do not. They seem to have lost some fight in them. Chelsea, what do you want to do?
Chelsea is going to be concerned about security cameras and seeing if there's anything immediately on us and what's happening, and if I can like chuck a rock at it to break it.
Yeah, you do see security cameras on some of the employee doors in the back of this this run of buildings. Yeah. What do you? So you want to chuck a rock? Yeah. Roll that Dex ×5 that we were doing.
Okay.
Yeah. You pick up a heavy piece of trash from the dumpster and you just chuck it at one of these.
Is it plastic? Is it cardboard?
Yeah, you throw it up.
68 or 50 failure.
Yeah, you get this like what looks like this heavy chunk of concrete that's just on the ground, and you just hurl it up. And as it hits the wall, you just notice as it goes through the wall, like this is just a piece of stage canvas that it just hurls through, and that camera just dangles and hangs there as well. Top of the round, it is Fawn's turn. Fawn, you have the mag light.
I'm going for kneecaps. Like I'm down on the ground because I kind of go for it. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll plus 20. It's on the ground.
Success with the under 70.
Yeah, and with that, you just kind of take the last bits of life out of them. Album starts to freak out. You guys watch as he starts kind of screaming, and then starts running. What do you guys do?
We're gonna have to follow after him, but like Chelsea's not gonna be the first one because he absolutely does not trust me.
Yeah, I mean, if we took this out and there isn't another one that we need to fight, like I'm gonna follow. Can we try to do now that the danger has passed, I'm not very good at it, but can we try to do like a psychotherapy? To kind of get somebody out of that temporary, like
Yeah,
once
go
it's
ahead
a
and roll.
situation.
You do know that psychotherapy, though, there's the potential for that to harm you as well, right?
Oh yeah, and
So,
I only
yeah.
have a 10, so maybe not. Sorry. Album.
Not
Well,
only do you have a 10, it's a 10 minus 20.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
Throw this body in the trunk, I guess.
So you reach down to try to drag the body over towards the dumpster, and that's when you see, coming from around the same corner that he was, another one of these figures. Same thing, gas mask, military jacket, shotgun. They're moving towards you. What do you guys do?
Do I recognize this as part of the play?
No?
No? Okay,
No.
we're gonna keep running.
Okay, so you're running. You're just running after Album.
Yeah.
So Chelsea and Album are running.
Yeah.
Album, you're running in terror. Chelsea, you're running after him. Vessel, you just tried to drag this body over towards the dumpster when you saw this figure emerge from around the corner. Fawn, what are you doing?
Running after.
Okay, so you're running after. So Vessel, as you're dragging this body, this other figure starts running towards you. They get within like maybe 10 feet or so, and they pull the gun up to fire. What do? You can, if you want, you can dodge, you can run. Well, if you want, you can dodge. If you like, you can roll a dodge or an athletics test as they're about to take a shot at you.
Yeah, I have to dodge this.
Okay.
Avoid it in any way.
Okay. They're going to fire at you then. This is going to be a... Where did I put it? This is a firearms. 32 is a success. Roll your dodge.
All right, I crit failed.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, Vessel.
We still
It's
have
like
that
a reroll,
reroll.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just used one, didn't he?
No, I
No,
didn't
because you
reroll
gave
it.
him
We
the
didn't
plus
have
20.
to, and then we got an extra.
Oh,
one, so we
that's
actually
right.
have
Plus
two.
20. Okay, fair enough. Go ahead.
Oh, 71.
Holy crap. The clutches, I was about to kill you. Comes up, you let go of the legs, and you tumble behind the dumpster as the shotgun goes off. The rest of you who are running, you hear the shotgun blast. You look behind you, you see Vessel tumbling out of the way. He's let go of the body of the one that you killed, and a second one of these figures starts moving towards, is moving towards Vessel. Okay, your turns. What are you guys doing?
Fawn's gonna run back and try to chuck the mag light at this one's head.
Are you gonna run? You said you're gonna run back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's like by himself.
You run back and then you throw the mag light again. Dex times 5 at this other. Yeah.
I'll take the last reroll, I think. Yeah. Critical success.
Sure. Roll a d4 and you can double it for a crit. Okay, 6. Yeah, so you just hurl this in, like, as they're aiming down at Vessel, you catch them right in kind of the temple, the side of the head, and you just crush them over, and they stumble around for a moment. Chelsea, Album, you're still running.
I was about to say, I don't
Chelsea-
have free will right now, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Chelsea, are you still running after him?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That's when you notice Fawn, Vessel, coming around the corner. You see another one of these shotgun figures. One of them is moving towards Vessel, the one that you threw and hit with the Magnite. The other is moving directly towards Fawn. Fawn, you said you ran back and then threw, so I'm going to say you're slightly out of range, so the shot's not going to go off just yet. The other one, however, that you did hit is going to shoot over at Vessel. Vessel, you're going to kind of be behind cover a little bit. Do you want... Actually, no, I never gave you an option. Sorry, what's your action this round? I never gave you your action.
I don't get an action because I used it to dodge.
Oh, good call. Thank you. He's gonna try to sort of... No, actually, you do. This is a weird kind of chase situation. There's some special rules in the game for this. So basically, you give me a choice. I'll give you a choice. Are you essentially attacking or are you running?
I'll fight back then.
You're gonna fight back? Okay. Go ahead and attack then.
I'll just continue discharging the shotgun I have here.
So you're going to dip out from behind the dumpster and you're going to shoot at the one that was just hit by Fawn, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Firearms. 36.
Roll your 2d6. That's a hit.
For 5.
And 5 points will take them out. As you blow them, their head just kind of gets slightly dislodged as the shotgun slug just lands right in the top part of the chest, and they fall down almost right on top of the other body. Okay. That's the end of that round. We go to the top of the round. Fawn, you're looking and you see Vessel has just taken one of these other out, but another one has come around and is running directly at you. Not even looking at Vessel. They're just charging right at you. Shotgun up. They're getting ready to shoot. What do you do, Fawn?
I'm gonna yell at Vessel, like, they just keep appearing. We're gonna have to go. Is there any kind of cover or anything that I can try
There's stuff
to...
around if you want to try to get cover, sure. It's up to you.
I mean, he's
You
got
can
the
see that
shotgun, so I would kind of like to be running with him so that he can kind of do some shooting. So
What are you going to do? Pick what your
can I
character
get
does.
to where his cover it.
If you run towards him, you're running closer than to the shotgun guy.
But if I run away, I have no cover whatsoever.
If you run away, you're much further away.
Right. Okay, so I told him he should run, so I will run.
Okay, so you run. Album, go ahead and roll a sanity test.
Okay.
Okay,
31 fail.
You're still freaking out. You're still just running and running and running. Okay. Up ahead, Chelsea, Album. Chelsea, you're just trying to keep chase with him. At this point, you guys are kind of nearing the end of an alleyway of this, like, kind of this back alley behind these shops. You can see that up ahead, there's kind of a side street between two different kind of commercial sections where there's a bunch of stores and things like that. So it's kind of like a temporary side street. You can see that there's a building up ahead that looks like some kind of home improvement store. And you notice off to the right, Chelsea, down the ways about, 40, 50 feet, you can see that there is a figure that's dressed in this green fatigue heavy jacket, shotgun in hand, running in a breakneck pace, head looking directly at you as they're just charging at you while you and Album are running. What do you want to do, Chelsea?
Does it feel like we're being herded in a particular direction?
Feels like you're being chased by guys with shotguns.
Okay. And I'm near a building.
Yeah, you can get to what looks like this home improvement store building. You see there's an employee entrance on the side, because you remember you're running along the back sides of these department stores.
I'm gonna head over towards that to see if it's a real building or not.
Okay, you and Album start running over. Then back in the other group that hung back, guy with shotgun's going to turn on Vessel. Actually, no, he's not. Guy on shotgun is going to take a shot at Fawn. Fawn, you are running. It's going to be a -20 to this roll. So I'm going to roll, but just whatever it is, I need to do 20. Just remember there's a -20 on it. So firearms. That's a fail. Shoots at, you can see aims, fires at Fawn. Fawn, you hear the gun go off, but you don't feel yourself getting hit. You look to your right, and you can see where there's some little kind of bike rack where some of the employees of the store have set up their bikes. One of these bikes just explodes in a fit of cardboard. Vessel, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll take this chance to flee from the scene.
Okay, you run. So top of the round, Fawn, are you still running?
Yes.
Okay. You can see up ahead a ways, or a little bit further ahead of you, you can see Chelsea and Album kind of run clear across the street. They're on the other side of this kind of access road between these two department store shopping centers. Chelsea's moving up alongside what looks like the side of a home improvement store, like a Lowe's or something like that. Okay. It's at that point as Chelsea and Album are kind of running, they're running right up to the side of it. You're continuing to run. You get right into the street. You can see that off to your right, Fawn, one of those like shotgun wielding figures has kind of taken a veering vector, and instead of like running down the sidewalk, is now in the middle of the road and just seems to be making a beeline towards Chelsea. Album, roll a sand test. All right, you're still
That's
freaking
another
out.
fail.
Yeah. Okay. So then next up, it is the static one, who's going to take a shot, a long distance shot at Chelsea. This is going to be -20 as they're trying to shoot like from the middle of the street over into the parking lot towards Chelsea. -20 as they're trying to shoot at you. I'm going to say -40 because they're firing even further away. It's a fail either way. But you hear the shotgun go off as they're right there in the middle of the street and they're firing. Cars are moving here and there to your left. As you can see, some are turning and getting ready to go into the stores. You see people off in the parking lot kind of getting ready to enter into their cars. Some of them are putting shopping carts away. Vessel, you're still running behind, and that's when you notice stepping out from behind what looks like a kind of a large tree behind this back shrubbery that protects the back line of parking spaces behind this shopping center. You see that this shotgun wielding figure is like climbing over top of this hedge and trying to come and get into the fight. What do you do?
Is he close enough to shoot at?
If you want, yeah. It would mean you stop. You can choose to shoot and run, but it would be a -20 to your attack. You can choose to stay still and shoot, and if that's the case, it's just flat attack roll.
Maybe I prefer to just keep on running. Try to outrun him.
Okay, so you just run.
Yeah.
Chelsea, do you want to open this door?
Yeah.
Okay. So you push the door open, and you find that you kind of open it up onto what looks like a mall. Like you're stepping out into, like out from a maintenance, like a maintenance door in this small little auxiliary tunnel in a mall. You hear the sounds of kind of like the mall activity, the distant kind of echoing announcements, the vague sounds of what sounds like Halloween music that's wafting through. You can hear the shuffling of people. You can hear the sounds of people talking, kind of all kind of muted, mixed together in this white noise. You look to your right, you see there's two bathrooms, there's a water fountain, and then to your left goes out towards the mall proper, and people are going left and right. There's this huge procession of people that seems to be moving past, like a huge group of people. What do you do?
Did Album come in with me?
Yeah, I'm gonna say just for just to keep it simple, you're kind of helping steer him. Maybe you have his arm and you're kind of like running and like tugging him in different directions.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut the door behind us and then immediately open it back up again to see if it's a closet or if it opens back up to the street.
So you're gonna shut the door. You know that the other two are behind you, right?
Oh, okay. So no, I'll hold
It's
the door
okay if you
open.
want to do it. Okay, you leave the door open. Sure. So what are you doing? So basically, are you continuing to run? Are you doing something else? Are you turning around to attack?
I'm basically gonna because I don't want to shut the door if they're still coming towards me, but I don't want the guy to be able to get in. So if he
Okay.
comes up to try and get into the door, I'll slam it shut.
Okay, so you'll say you're kind
I'm
of
just
taking
kinda, like,
cover.
waiting at the door. Yeah.
Okay, we're saying you're taking cover. That's fine. Taking cover on the door. Album, roll your sand test. See if you can snap out of this. Okay.
Yeah,
and
success.
you do. And you look around and you have no memory of entering the mall. The last thing you saw was just the most horrific looking, decayed David Langford face that you remember it. And you're here. Chelsea's like gripping onto your arm and just squeezing incredibly tight. You look to your left down this auxiliary hallway and you see the mall proper where a huge procession of people are moving past. You look to your right, you see bathrooms, you see what looks like, a water fountain. You look out the door and it looks like there's a shotgun wielding man in the middle of the street that's like a good 50 feet away, and that's kind of firing your direction. You look and you see Fawn is about to start crossing the street. They're at different angles, and a little further behind Fawn is Vessel in the distance, where there's another shotgun wielding man that seems to be climbing over top of a row of hedges. What do you want to do, Album?
Album is just going to say, "Are we trying to get lost in the crowd? What's going on?"
Do we want to get separated? Because like they're shooting at us and like
There's not a lot of time for this.
Yeah.
It's quick decision making. You have to you can get like a couple seconds of conversation, but a long conversation literally will be your turn. You're stop still.
Who is closer to us, Fawn and Vessel, or the guy with the shotgun across
Fawn,
the street?
in order, Fawn is the closest, then the shotgun wielding guy, then Vessel.
Okay, Album is just going to wait on one side of the door with his knife out, and after Fawn enters, the next person who enters, he's just going to, like, stab at, essentially.
Okay, you're going to hold and wait and stab. Okay. So then they're going to go next. So the static guy will start running in the direction of you guys and step into the, step kind of up to the doorway. Album, I'll let you go ahead and you can make your attack right now if you want.
Okay. Success.
Roll your D4 for damage.
It's max
Very nice.
damage.
Excellent. Then they're going to try to take a shot, but not at you, at Chelsea, who's taking cover. So I'm going to give this a -20 to the shot, but I'm still going to shoot as they're trying to kind of shoot past you towards this, like through the door to where Chelsea's kind of hiding behind it, almost maybe pushing through the frame of the door towards her. So -20 on this attack. That's a miss, and you can see like a big rupture of plaster as the shotgun shell like just smashes against it right past you, Album. But you realize that if he would have pointed it at you, that could have been very bad for you. Over by in the far back, the guy climbing over the hedges is going to take a shot at Vessel as Vessel's running away. Again, -20 on this shot. That's still going to hit. You can take your turn, because if you want to dodge this, you're welcome to do so. Dodge or athletics.
Yes, I'd like to avoid this shot.
Go for it.
Success.
With a 26, you do. You kind of tumble out of the way. It forces you to stop your running momentarily, and that's your turn for this round. Chelsea, you've got the door propped open. There's a shotgun-wielding maniac that just tried to shoot at you. Album stabbed. And you can see Fawn running towards you as well. She's not quite here yet.
I want to try and disarm him.
Okay. Unarmed. So that's going to be, since you don't have any weapons on you, we'll call it an unarmed combat, and then it'll be contested.
Okay. 10 over 46.
And you do manage to, say, roll a luck test. We'll do the same thing we did with, and to see whether you manage to snatch, like grab the shotgun, or you just knock it out of his hands. So if you get lucky, you can kind of keep the gun in your hand. If not, the gun just goes skittering out, and you do manage to snatch the gun out of his hands. Okay. Top of the round, Fawn, you see a melee has started to break out, and that's when you hear a shotgun off to the left, and you see, like you did from the parking lot area in front of this hardware store. You can see somebody is beginning to pull and kind of push through a group of people who are trying to return their carts, and they're staring right at you, and they're coming for you, Fawn.
But I can see the door that Chelsea went through.
Yeah.
I'm running for the door.
Okay. You're close enough that if you wanted to run up and do something to the guy standing in the door, you can do that. If you have, like, if you just want to punch him, or if you have a knife on you to stab him, I think you threw your mag light. Mace? Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know what mace does, but...
Dex times 5. Yeah, we'll treat it like a stun effect. Okay. Roll like I'll say a D4 -1, and we'll treat it as a stun effect, meaning he'll have to roll stamina on his next turn to break the stun.
3.
Okay. Album, you got a knife. This guy just got disarmed by Chelsea. Fawn, you know what? I think we should cycle back and take that back. He's got a gas mask on.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I don't think the mace would make sense. You would have seen that though, so we can take that back, and if there's something you want to do.
Right. Can I just use that to
just punch him in the back of the head?
Yeah.
Okay, use the can, like to smash him in the back of the head, and we'll treat it more than like you hit him in the back of the head with the can of mace or something like that instead. Okay. Album. This guy's stumbling around a bit, but he's still up. Shotgun is now in Chelsea's hands. What do you want to do, Album?
Can I push him to the ground using unarmed combat?
Absolutely. Roll your unarmed combat.
Success.
Yeah, and he falls to the ground. It is his turn. I'm not going to roll that stamina anymore because we didn't do the mace. Instead, I think what he's going to do is he is going to pull his knife out, and I think he's going to swing at Chelsea with it. Outnumbered, I'll give him a -20 to this, as you guys are and you're kind of still got the door, the other people between you. I'll give him a -20 as he tries to swing out with the knife. That will miss with the penalty. Vessel, you've doved. He's going to shoot at you. This is just going to be a flat shot. That's a success. Do you want to dodge?
Yeah, I have to keep doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, it's a failure this time. I'm getting blown to bits.
8 points of damage.
My God.
Yeah, I'm died.
Oh no.
Chelsea, Chelsea, I think you and Album would see it. Fawn, I don't think you would from the angle you came from. But Chelsea, Album, you see over your shoulder, over the shoulder of Fawn, you look back and you see Vessel, who's hiding behind, trying to dive behind like a telephone pole, gets blasted in the back and just goes hurtling through the air and falls to the ground,
Real quick,
completely limp. Yeah.
Doesn't Vessel wear body armor usually, and does that take away any of the damage?
Do you have body armor on, Vessel?
Only that makeshift cheap stuff I had earlier, but I don't think it's enough anyways. Even if it's 1 or 2.
Oh.
Well, what do you have? I want to give you every chance. I want to give you every chance you get. Every chance you get.
I forget what it was, but I remember picking up armor during the scene with Exeter's house when that thing stabbed me. It was really cheap
Oh yeah,
armor.
it's when you started. It's when you started. You made it yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, it's not even real armor.
Okay. I'm just checking what kind of armor is in existence. We've got Kevlar. It's probably not as good as Kevlar. Kevlar's got an armor rating of 3, so I doubt it's as good as Kevlar.
Yeah, even if
but
I had Kevlar, that wouldn't help.
we'll treat it as an armor 1, which means it would have taken off 1 point of damage here, 1 point of damage with the first time you got attacked. So would 2 more health back have done anything to help you?
No.
Okay, then you are on the ground.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so then Vessel in Chelsea. So Vessel, you're down. Chelsea, you're up.
The one who is between the three of us, is he still on the ground?
Yeah, he's on the ground.
I'm gonna curb stomp his face.
Yeah, go ahead. Unarmed combat.
Oh, that's a failure.
Okay.
Gas
You try to
mask makes
curb
me
stomp
slip.
it, and you miss. Album.
Okay, real quick. So when someone hits 0 hit points, are they dead, or is this
They're
a
dead,
coup de
dead.
grace type situation?
Oh,
okay.
no,
0 points
you're
is dead.
dead.
1 to
Okay.
2 health is unconscious. 0 is dead.
Okay. Then I will also just try to hit this guy. Actually, Album's just gonna yell "We need to get lost in this crowd of people," and he's just going to run and try and blend in with the crowd moving to the left.
Okay. Sure. So you run in to this crowd. You leave the melee. You run to the crowd. You notice as you start kind of moving through the crowd, it's not your average mall crowd. It's a very kind of peculiar collection of people. There's people wearing overalls, work boots, gloves, and they're kind of moving in this sort of opposite direction of each other. You can see they're all carrying ropes and pulleys and gear. Some of them are sliding carts with set pieces, and with no regard whatsoever for the shotgun knife wielding fight that's happening just 10 feet from them in this little hallway. What's your alertness at again?
71.
You notice that all of the set pieces and things that they're moving about are painted pillars of white and gold filigree, and several people appear to be dressed in stage clothing and makeup from what looks like a Shakespearean play. Yeah. So then it's going to be the static one's turn. It's this shotgun wielding figure will stab at Chelsea, who is still here. And with a 31, will be successful. And you will take 4 points of damage. Okay. The figure backed by Vessel will continue to run in the direction of the melee. The other one that you saw from the front of the building, Fawn does the same. The two of them are closing in on both of you. Will probably be able to shoot you on the next turn. It'll go back up to Fawn. What do you want to do?
Running towards Chelsea.
Okay. Well, you're in a melee with Chelsea. Like, you're right there.
You're
You came
here.
up and hit the guy. So yeah, you're there.
You need to come
Oh, yeah.
inside.
You're all
and,
by
like,
a
you need to
door,
get the
by-
door shut.
Yeah. God darn it. If we saw him get shot, then we gotta just close the door.
You haven't seen anything.
You don't know. I know.
Did you say anything?
Nope.
I'm not gonna close the door because I think he's behind. So then I'm just gonna try to. Continue.
Well, you can roll an alertness test. Roll an alertness test. Yeah, you might not. You haven't put it together. You heard the shotgun shells. You'd probably assume he's behind you. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to bonk this guy again.
Okay, go ahead. All right, you try and fail as he's just kind of swarming around on the ground. Album, you're in this crowd. What do you want to do?
So, I mean, I can still see the two of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Album's
you're like
going
right
to-
there. Yeah, you can see them.
Album's going to yell like, "They killed Vessel. Stop screwing around. They're gonna keep coming and just become anonymous." And he's just gonna like walk with the crowd and pretend like he might even like take something from one of them since they haven't seemed to pay attention and just act like he's a stagehand or whatever they're pretending to be.
Okay, that sounds great. Static guy will go next, and we'll try to stab. Once more.
I didn't get a turn yet, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I skipped you. Yeah, you would have had to go. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I want to shoot him.
Before Fawn went. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
What were you guys rolling for guns? Sorry.
It's just firearms.
Firearm.
There's a firearms skill.
Okay. Crit success.
Yeah, you blow him the fuck away. Like, you just obliterate him as you saw him in half with this thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say Chelsea, Fawn, both roll San. This is a severe act of violence.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Up close. Both you take a
Failure.
point. Both you take a point of sand damage from violence.
Yeah.
If you're adapted, you don't have to take it. You take a few steps inside. So then,
If Fawn's in, I'm gonna slam that door shut.
Fawn is not inside. She said
Oh,
she
okay.
didn't go inside. So
Wait, I thought I was inside. I just didn't close the door behind me.
did you? Okay, if you want to say you stepped inside, like you stepped inside and swung, that's fine. I thought you
Yeah.
said because you hadn't seen Vessel, you wouldn't
That I
have. Okay.
wasn't closing the door behind me because I thought he was.
Chelsea, you shut the door.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Stuff happens. Chelsea, it comes back to you. I'm sorry, I got a little out of order there. Chelsea, it's back on you now.
I'm gonna follow Album out into the crowd.
Okay, top of a new round. Fawn, it's your turn. We're back in order now. Fawn.
Album called out that they got Vessel.
They
When
got
he
Vessel.
yelled-
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do what Album said and just try to disperse into the crowd, I guess.
Okay. So the three of you are dispersed into this crowd. As you're kind of moving about, and we are still vaguely in sort of structured time here. Again, all of you see like these different groups. But as you're pushing through, like you can see occasional movements here and there within which is effectively a sea of things as all the workers seem to be going in one direction, you're kind of trying to go in a different direction, and then you see these parts, these waves, as more of those shotgun wielding figures are kind of moving about somewhere, kind of looking for you. Chelsea, someone suddenly stops you. You see this kind of strange looking man, very sort of smartly and neatly dressed. He's got this spade goatee, and suddenly all like these gas mask wielding figures seem to kind of disperse around, almost as if they lost track of you. Up until that point, they were all just like coming right at you, like a straight line at each one of you. And suddenly they start to kind of like wade off as if they've lost track. And the stranger that you're looking at is holding this sheaf of papers that's rolled up like a newspaper. And despite the fact that you got like blood on your face, you've got this shotgun in your hand, they hand the roll of papers over to you, and they say, "This pod would be perfect for you." And then after giving you the papers, just turns and disappears into the crowd.
I'm gonna kind of like follow him into the crowd, just because are they still, the gas mask people still narrowed in on me?
Yeah, I mean they're moving about. They seem like there's like a momentary abatement of them being able to track you guys. And you take a few steps to try to follow this, like you kind of get pushed and shoved, like a group comes in front of you, and eventually, like within seconds, you lose sight of this strange man.
Yeah, I want to find some place to like duck down, take cover, like catch my breath and see what this is.
Okay. So you look, the cover, it's a script. It reads Her Gray's Song by B. Paget. You start flipping through, and you see that inside all the parts for the king, the character known as the king, are underlined in this red grease pencil. This part is perfect for you. Go ahead and roll sand.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Okay. One from helplessness.
Okay.
And it's at that point you hear a shout, and suddenly that momentary abatement of this chase seems to have kind of dissipated. And you can see that the different figures that are in the crowd, these shotgun wielding figures, are starting to move in your direction again. Fawn, what are you doing?
Just finding my own way in the crowd. Just trying to
Run.
Not be in the same place as them, but yeah.
Okay. Album.
You said people are dressed up like for Shakespearean stuff. Is
Some of
there
them, yeah.
any is there any clothing that I can grab to blend in and look like one of them? Like a cloak or something?
Okay, roll a luck test. Yeah, you
31.
reach out, you snatch some really flamboyant looking cloak, and like the person that you grab it from doesn't even say anything, and you just put it over top of you. Okay. You hear the sounds of a shotgun fire as you do that, Album, and the figure that you just took this from just falls down onto the ground. Chelsea, you just kind of kneel down for a moment. You looked at the papers. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and like rush to the front of like where they're going to find where the stage is.
Okay. You rush up to the front. You bump into Fawn, who's kind of doing the same. You look behind, and like there's Album kind of coming at you all. Behind him, you can see like a shotgun wielding gas mask figure is kind of aiming the gun again, and it looks like a figure got in the way, one of these crowds, and fell down in front of him. As you reach the edge of this wave of the crowd, you can see in front of you there is this kind of lit up door, like it's going into like an arcade area.
Yep, we're going through the door.
Okay, Fawn, you're up first. You go through the door. Album, do you follow them, or do you go a different way? All right.
No, I'm gonna go through that door.
Okay. You hear a shotgun go off behind you, Album, and then you hear an explosion of an arcade cabinet as this Mortal Kombat 2, old like from the 90s, just explodes, and you hear "finish him" as it shuts down in this kind of almost comical sense. So the three of you are running through this building, and at the front of this room, this like arcade, everything's lit up. There's sounds, there's all sorts of things being played here and there, and eventually like the lights become dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until it becomes almost completely dark. And you continue to kind of run for a bit. You look behind, you see the vague signs of what looks like lights, and eventually you notice that in addition to those like vague lights, you see the sort of the silhouettes of those gas mask figures that are continuing to pursue you through this strange tunnel of darkness. As you continue to run, you start to see that there's these ropes and pulleys and sandbags that are kind of hidden in these small, almost very faintly lit corners of the area. You can see that there's these glittering eyes of people here and there that are just kind of furtively watching you from the shadows as you pass, continuing to run and run and run. You can see these fairly dimly seen faces, kind of these contrite smiles begin to kind of grin. You can't quite make out exactly who's looking at you from the sides as you run and you run and you run. And as you continue to move forward, you see like up ahead, like this employee only door just suddenly shows up under spotlight. What did the three of you do?
Me and doors, we're going through.
Okay.
We asked for a way in, so we followed the door.
Yeah.
The only way out is through.
You burst through, you hear a shotgun, and you hear as one of those figures that was kind of grinning at you from the darkness just falls over. You push the door open, and there's this amazingly bright light that just kind of hits you after going through that tunnel of darkness, and all of you are momentarily blinded. And when your eyes kind of catch back up with you, you can see that you're on a stage. And you can see that there are many other figures on here with you, and they're all kind of dressed up in this costume finery. They've got like this overdrawn, exaggerated makeup, like the really intensely rosy cheeks, the really pale surrounding areas of the skin. All of you start to notice that as you look and you're running and pushing through, you notice and recognize some of the faces. You see a squat, kind of angry-looking Michelle Van Fitz, all of the paint covering on top of her, the rosy red cheeks making her look happier than she had at any point when you met her in the night floors or when you met her in the McAllister building. You see what looks like Cynthia LaChance, the woman from Art Life who you spoke to briefly. At one point, you see the woman who kind of had those weird dragon contraptions inside the Dorchester fawn, just kind of watching as you go past. She has some kind of folded origami figure kind of draped over top of this. All the while, you feel and you hear the footsteps of these figures that are continuing to follow you. You look out into the darkness to the left, out beyond the stage, and you can see there's an audience out there as well, and they're all kind of just looking up towards the stage. They're watching. They've got these upturned faces. They have this expectant look at their eye, like this is all perfectly normal. You realize that like this stage, it feels out of time. This doesn't feel like you've stepped onto the stage of like 2015. The wood itself is kind of old and rough. The costumes aren't just dated, but everyone in the audience seems to be dated as well. You look out, you see like ruffled shirts, and you see embroidery. You see kind of like these ornate clothes, people kind of fanning themselves here and there as if there's not like air conditioning within the room. Across the stage, you can see that there is another single closed door on the other side, behind the curtains. What do you guys want to do?
With a quick scan of this room, is there a girl in blue?
You do not see a girl in blue. I mean, there's people vaguely in blue here and there, but there is no girl in blue that stands
not
out. There's
Abby?
multiple people. No.
Okay.
You do not see Abigail, right? No.
Yeah, I'm running for that other door.
Okay.
Yep.
Continue to run. You hear shots behind you go off. You
we-
push. Well, go ahead.
Do we light this room on fire?
If you do that, that means you're not opening the door. That means that's
Yeah.
like a different action.
Yeah.
Why would we light it on fire?
Because this is the play, or a play.
I I don't have any materials on me to start a fire.
Yeah, okay,
might-
then we're just going through.
Just
the
want to
door.
point out you are
Yeah,
being
we don't do
chased
that.
by
Yeah,
three
we're just going
shotgun
through the door.
wielding.
Yeah, it might be too
who are
risky.
pushing through the tunnel of shadow behind you and through the door onto the stage as they're chasing you across the stage. You get to the other side, you open up the door, and you hear the sounds of street outside. And you are suddenly surrounded by people, cars, and you're in a big city. You hear just the sounds of car horns. You hear the sounds of traffic, people shouting at one another. You look back and you can see kind of pushing through the stage production. Those figures are out here. When you look around on the street, there are more folks here, like bystanders standing around. But as you all look around, you notice that what they're wearing doesn't feel right. Men are all in suits with hats. The women are in long skirts and dresses, and for the day, for 2015, fairly unfashionable makeup. You look around, you see the cars are archaic, like something out of a different time. Chelsea, you recognize some of the models a little bit of like these old 50s,
50s
60s
cars.
type. And you look and you realize as you look at the skyline, this is not Boston. You are in New York. All of you roll sand.
Oh, goodness.
I failed.
Failed.
Also failed.
All right. All
Be a big
right.
one if he says all right.
This is unnatural.
Okay.
Of
All of
course
you
it is.
take
I'm
one. Of
adapting.
course, it's only one.
Oh no, it's
One
not.
point.
Sorry.
Unnatural, 1 point. Okay. Album, you have the highest alertness left. Go ahead and roll an alertness.
Success.
All right. You start looking around, and you can see that of all these different bystanders, you recognize them. You see Mark Roark at one point plodding along in different directions. You see Thomas Manuel dressed up in a very fine-looking suit with a hat on. You see from the Dorchester house, you see what looks like your friend, the Dr. Maximo friend, moving about. Timothy Bale. You see Captain C. Hamilton Chester that you just saw with a briefcase, dressed in 1950s attire. Everyone just kind of, every single face that you look at and you see is somebody you've encountered from the McAllister building, from the Dorchester, and everywhere in between. And they're all just moving past one another. Even Thomas Manuel moves past Roger Caroon, neighbors, and pretending like they don't know each other as they just walk past each other. And that's when you hear the gunshots from behind and you realize you're still being chased. What do all of you do? We're at the top of a new round fawn. You're out on the street. What do you want to do? What's that?
I'm looking for a door. Like I'm moving forward, looking for
Okay.
something.
You just turn left and you start running. And you can see 100, 150 meters or so from you. You see a sign suddenly emerge. The Hotel Brothel Bin.
That's where we're going.
Album, what do you do?
So it hasn't been possible to close any of the doors that we've
You
gone
can close
through
the
so
doors
far.
at any time you want, sure.
Oh, yeah. The door we just came through, all closed so that they stopped chasing us.
Absolutely. Okay, so you close the door, shotgun shell goes off, and you kind of feel the the vibration of it as it hits the inside of it, but doesn't seem to make any damage, and you close it. So you close the door. See, then that's when all of you start noticing emerging from the crowd 2, 3, 4 of these gas mask figures beginning to kind of push through and are just kind of running at you all. Chelsea, what do you want to do?
Oh, I'm following Fawn. I'm still running.
Okay. So you're running. You also now see the Hotel Broadlebin sign. We go back up to the top of the round. Fawn, what's your alertness at?
38.
Okay, roll alertness. Take plus 20 on this.
No.
Yeah. You just keep running and you're running and you see these figures like pushing through and like kind of running towards you. Same thing, gas masks, shotguns. Album, you just close the door, you look off to your right and you see running down the sidewalk, you can see two of these shotgun wielding maniacs chasing after you. Both of them are about to get within range to shoot at you. Both Fawn and Chelsea went left.
Yeah, I'm going to run after them. I'm assuming I can see the Broadlebin sign from where I'm at.
As you turn and start running, you in fact see the sign of the Hotel Broadlebin over the top.
Is there any way to double time in Delta Green or no? Like,
I assume if you're running, because like there's you only get one action on your turn, so it's not like other games. And so there's like full run, and then there's attack, which is baked into an attack roll, is like a couple feet of movement. Okay, Album, roll an alertness.
Ooh, I failed.
Okay.
Do we have any rerolls left?
It's okay. Don't worry about it. You're just running, and you hear the footsteps behind you. Chelsea, go ahead and roll an alertness. Plus 20.
Success.
You start running, and it's like 50 meters away, and you look and you realize that these gas mask figures with the shotguns have started to overtake you. They're running alongside of you. They're not shooting at you anymore. You can see that they're just running as fast as they can. Some of them are starting to outpace you, and they're all running towards the Hotel Broadlebin. And it's that point you look back and you see just a few feet behind Album, who is now being flanked on either side by multiple gas mask figures chasing and running. You notice there are 6 policemen in these kind of old-timey uniforms that are chasing after the very shotgun-wielding lunatics that are now kind of running alongside of you. What do you guys all do? So this is top of the round. Actually, no, this is Chelsea's turn. Sorry, Chelsea's turn, bottom of the round.
I'm gonna keep. If they're not shooting at me anymore, I'm gonna keep running. I'm gonna try and get indoors.
Okay. What do you want to do, Fawn?
Same, run into the hotel.
Okay. You hear shots go off like behind you, but like, you know, you hear shots here and there. Album, your turn after Fawn.
Yeah, he's also just going for Broadlebin, just laser focus.
Are the gas mask people saying anything?
No.
Okay.
No, they're just running and running. Album, you're a little bit behind. You watch and you hear as gunshots ring out, and you feel the air of bullets just whizzing past you, and you see some of those figures, those gas mask figures in front of you, kind of get hit, tumble down. And as they tumble down into the crowd of these onlookers, these bystanders who are not paying attention to whatever, it's like perfect timing. They just happen to step out of the way just as a body falls, just as another body falls. Chelsea, Fawn, you kind of get up right to what looks like these beautiful ornate doors. You can see through them. You see this kind of Art Deco print of the Hotel Broadlebin. You see these gargoyles kind of emerging through the door. Bellhops almost like time it, and they open the door right as the two of you run over and cross the threshold. Album, do you continue to run?
Yeah.
Okay, you do the same thing, and more of those gas mask figures just fall down. And like you just step over top of them, you almost stumble, and finally you cross over into the Hotel Broadlebin. You feel the sudden sweat on your skin just kind of get cool as the air in here kind of begins to patch over it. You hear the sounds of kind of distant music playing. You hear people talking. This immense sense of deja vu just overtakes you, as if you've been here before. You feel this surge of adrenaline, of this like sense of accomplishment, like you have achieved something. All of you roll a d20.
Why? 12.
Restore that amount of sanity.
Oh, come on.
16.
Oh.
All right.
You
You
were
just
doing
feel-
okay there,
Yeah.
Album. You don't need
Yeah,
as much.
You look back through the doors, and there's no signs of the policeman. There's no signs of the gas mask. All of you are kind of breathing, of huffing a little bit. As you turn around and you kind of look deeper into the hotel, you see standing in the lobby, a few feet away from the check-in counter, Agent Vessel,
Okay.
covered in blood from head to toe, just soaked in his own blood. And that's where we're going to go ahead and stop for tonight.
What the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
I need-
You're back.
Vessel, you can roll a sand, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Just roll a sand test.
The sand test or?
Yeah, roll a sand test. Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Okay. Thanks. Good to know. I just want to know that
Does
for next
he
time.
get any back?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Well, you're down to 8.
Okay. So that is it for tonight. You guys have made it to the Hotel Broadlebin.
Oh my god.
Are you happy now?
No.
It was definitely a way to get there, I guess.
Okay.
Good
Can't wait for our
gracious.
post game.
There's so many things. It's like we're seeing all of these things, but we can't like stop and look
You
at
can.
anything because we're being
You just get shot if you do. Yeah.
And then that's bad.
It's supposed to like generate like it's supposed to be fast. That's why I kept saying
Yeah.
gotta make you can't stop and talk too much, or else it kind of defeats the tension a little bit. All right then. So that's it for tonight. We are in. This is not, by the way, the end of part 3. This is just we're in the Hotel Broadlebin.
Oh god.
It is sort of a point of no return moment, unfortunately. So there's like
Yep.
no more hiding in the Boxer Hotel, guys. Now we're
That's for
now we're gonna
sure.
hide in the Hotel Broadlebin. So it's jumping
We're
from
just
one to the
continuing
next.
to hotel hop, you know?
Exactly.
Paying none of our bills.
All right, so before we get going, come back tomorrow. We're going to be playing some One Ring, starting that for the first time. That's going to be a lot of fun, hopefully. We're going to take a look. Yes, it's 1950s New York. That's at least what they saw out in the street. Who knows what time it is inside the Hotel Broadway. We'll find out next week. And then, tomorrow, One Ring 2nd edition. Come check that out. On Monday, come back, watch Melissa and I as we play in Alien with a bunch of our friends from Defenders of Cobalt and Grim and Perilous and Free League, etc. We'll also be on Tuesdays. We'll be over on the Sirenscape channel playing some Call of Cthulhu. Next Thursday, you can watch Delta Green Visit over on Garblack Games, and then find out what the hell's going on inside the Hotel Broadlebin as we are perilously close to the end of part 3 as we have arrived. The Hotel Broadlebin. So yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and raid somebody. So for those of you who hung out tonight, I think we had a couple bits here and there. Told Twitch there were some bits. Yeah, I think looks like Steam Still Murder is up. I think Chuck and the boys don't start for another 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and raid our friends over at Steam Still Murder as Bert is running some Dungeons and Dragons. So thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we'll see you next time. So hang out for the raid. Bye-bye.